I was gonna just ask people.
So hopefully.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, August 4th, 2026, and we're here for our code enforcement work session regarding long-term apartments, cars, and campers. Fun stuff.
Always fun stuff.
Okay, so
You asked for this work session to be scheduled. Yep.
So the issue that I'm having is all the campers that are parked in, particularly on the base, in front yards and backyards, hooked up to power, water, sewer. Well, actually sewer just laying on the ground out in the yard. I would think it would be a fire department issue. And some of the roads you can't hardly get down with a truck and trailer. So I can't imagine what it'd be like trying to get in there on an emergency with a fire truck. Just to me, it just seems like it's gotten out of hand. And it's not just on Larson Air Force Base; it's all across Grand County. So I don't know how can we fix that problem.
I'm reading, not ignoring. Sorry.
It's all good.
If I remember it, the statute just changed legislatively, I believe, just this year, didn't it? There was some legislation reference,
And
homelessness and RVs and things like that. Yeah, and I don't either. I thought that there was at the, so I think it might just refer to municipalities that have to have homeless housing before you can take enforcement action on some of this stuff. I thought it was municipalities, but I could be wrong.
Does it take somebody filing a complaint for anything to happen on those, or how does that work?
For code enforcement, where it's complaint driven, but where it becomes gray, and I think Trevor's looking at that right now. Where it becomes gray because their homes is where it gets dicey, and that's where we would lean immediately on Jim and Trevor, quite frankly, for some direction on that. And you guys jump in at any time, so.
it's generally complaint-based driven. That's how it started out as, that's how it's continued, and that protects the public basically in a way. Whereas criminal things like that, we see it happening, we can enforce or contact. This stuff, I see stuff every day, just like we all see stuff. And without a citizen complaint or somebody else higher than me saying, hey, go handle this, that's how the initial first 5 started. Was the sheriff saying, these are our top 5 properties, and that was 2018, so.
And what the sheriff's referring to is that there was proposed legislation this year that did not pass, that was attempting to recognize RVs as affordable housing units. And as we will know, heading into the long session, that probably is, well, it's definitely going to come back around again. But it was not successful in this year's short session.
So unless legislation changes, there's really not a whole lot we can do about it. Is that
So
what I'm hearing?
I think we got a couple of starting points. One is just the general unauthorized vehicle statutes, RCW 4655.010. And admittedly, my comments are going to be dependent upon the specific factual situation regarding each one. But just as a general rule, there is a statute for unauthorized vehicles, and this can include vehicles on public locations if they constitute an obstruction, and this is 14 Roman numeral 4 in the right of way for public safety purposes, could potentially be that way. Roman numeral 1, constituting an accident or traffic hazard. So that potentially is an avenue to take a look at, but again, it's going to depend upon the factual situation. It's going to be different if it's, one fact could change it one way or the other. Without knowing more factual, I can't provide a good analysis as to, okay, as to this specific situation, this one is going to apply. I did, in advance of this, take a look at some other counties to see what they have done with some parking ordinances to kind of restrict. But again, it's going to be any approach at the ordinance level would require a fact intensive, okay, here's the situation that we're looking at, what are we looking to control? And so I guess from my perspective, I need a little bit more facts, to help advise further on that. But I think those are some avenues. I was just trying to find a case as well, and for some reason, it's not showing up my fingertips. I believe is a 2025 case that upheld some parking restrictions on a camper, and again, it applied to public places. So there may be an avenue there as well. But again, I would be looking for a little bit more fact basis in order to apply some additional analysis. Is it just on the arterial streets that are out there? Is it, that's what I would be looking for.
Well, the concern I have is if you drive through the base, you'll see 4 or 5 cars parked right up against the house, garbage everywhere, campers, whatever. And to me, it's not safe. If something were to start on fire right in front of that house, there goes that house, the one right next to it. I mean, I thought we had ordinances in place that don't allow that, but yet here we are, and it's everywhere. That's my concern is, I don't care how people live, but if it's affecting the neighborhood, it looks junky for our county.
Mm-hmm. Trevor, does the case of the city of Seattle versus Stephen Long come into play on this?
Is that was that 2020?
2021 case?
It's going to weigh in, but there was another decision, I believe it was in 2025, and I'm still trying to locate that.
No, it's a pickup.
Handicaps.
Still trying to locate it.
The following one you're talking about?
Let's try this. We used it yesterday. Garbage can.
Leave for a couple days.
You still have a seat.
Kevin, I think one of the things that's coming into play here is what you've brought up is kind of a few different phases or approaches that we've got problems with here. You have parking on a public roadway on the base, what you're getting at is, it's hard for emergency vehicles to get through. Then you have people that are camping in RVs or RVs parked on different lots on the base, which I think is kind of a totally separate issue. As far as the parking goes, I will tell you historically in my 30-year career, the things that we've encountered on patrol out there on the base, we get contacted regularly by Public Works asking us to get the cars off the roadway when they chip seal. I will tell you, there's been times where we have gone out there, we've posted on the cars that this car needs to be removed by such time, or it'll be towed. When the cars are still there when it comes time to chip seal and we have them towed, the county ends up eating the bill because we can't tell them that they can't park on the roadway. But then there's been times where we go out there and we'll tow all the cars or we'll ticket all the cars because they have expired registrations or whatever else, and those cases seem to go just fine. If we find the appropriate resources to find a way, which we can certainly have a proactive effort in going after the cars that are not currently licensed, that are obviously broken down and stuff like that. It would be my suggestion that we probably start with that as far as the cars that are on the roadway, see what we can do about getting some of those off the roadway and see what it turns the neighborhood into looking like. And then start going after maybe the cars that are just always parked on the roadway that are causing obstructions for emergency vehicles or something like that. But it's been a while since we've gone out there and done a proactive tagging cars that need to be removed because they're either obviously broken down, no current registration, things like that. Those are all things that we have control of. Our deputies, particularly in that area there, just get really busy, so they don't necessarily have the time to stop and go around the base doing it. But it's not to say that we can't make a proactive time frame and just send 2 or 3 of our deputies out there who do traffic. Just ask them to start tagging cars that don't belong on the roadway there, and maybe that might change the landscape just a little bit. That would give Trevor, that would give our code enforcement officers a chance to kind of go look into what would be the best alternative as far as looking at the people who are parked in their RVs out there. It'll give the legislature a chance to maybe enact some stuff. And then we could revisit this later. Just some alternatives.
Okay. I mean, it's just frustrating when I get calls from
Absolutely.
constituents out there and then you drive by and he's right, there's 4 campers in somebody's driveway or in their yard and the backyard, and then you drive by and there's a sewer line out on the ground.
Yeah.
And then you contact the health department, they don't have the resources or they don't do anything about it. This has been going on for 6 months for this gentleman, and quite frankly, it's affecting him even being able to sell his property, which I get.
Has there been a complaint issued on that one?
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's wrong.
Sounds like Deputy Starnes is working on that case.
It's kind of like the castle.
Yeah.
On Airway Drive.
Absolutely.
It's an albatross. It's been that way for, I don't know, as long as I can remember. And the activity that goes on there, it's not good.
Castle cleaned up now? No? Oh, we did that last year.
We're still working on
No, it went sideways apparently. And I know the laws and the way you have to do things, it's not favorable to anybody, really. Because I think the castle wasn't, it was, you guys had it almost foreclosed on, or we were gonna take it back, and then somebody came along and said they owned it. I don't know, but they work the system.
Absolutely.
Is there anything ordinance wise that we can explore instead of waiting for legislation to take over with the state law?
Well, so our development code, to Under Sheriff Mansfield's point, allows for up to 2 inoperable and unlicensed vehicles on the parcel. It doesn't speak to within the right of way. So vehicles parked, in front of, our ordinance doesn't touch. And it, obviously prohibits living in an RV without a temporary use permit. We also allow for the occupation in an RV if you have an active building permit.
Right.
And that's been
For
a
6
little bit of,
months.
yeah, a little bit of up to a year.
Up to a year.
Yeah, and that's been a little bit of a misconception, because folks have applied for a building permit and haven't actually pulled the permit and then, wheeled an RV in. It's more typical down at Desert Air as a workaround, that we have closed. We've heightened the communication in and around what an active building permit is, and that HOA is working on it. But those are the two tools in our toolbox, that, Shane and his team, Mark's team, is definitely aware of and tries to employ. But I think the challenge is that we've got rulings that are coming in from, City of Seattle and I think Grants Pass and otherwise that have kind of overridden that because, again, this, affordable housing issue. And, what is a legally habitable dwelling unit versus what's an RV, and how do you legally displace somebody from it, even, outside of what we have on the books? That's my understanding of what the challenge is.
Yes, it's tough.
We were told a few years ago, when Barb was in Trevor's position, Barb Duerbeck, that because of all what he's talking about, the different rulings and things like that, that we were to kind of hold off a little bit or pause even on, especially on private property. Public property or right away or things like that is a little bit different, but especially on private property, to maybe understand that we need to, I want to say, go around or just not pursue us as normal, basically. So I don't know if any of that's really resolved, but I think we're still going. I think we went back to kind of what we were doing before all that started. But it's hard to say.
Well, I mean, I get it, because, I bought a piece of property that had a squatter on it. It took me 8 months to get rid of them, and
Yep.
$10,000 in legal fees and all the cleanup. So,
I have many memories of good times.
if we were to do that for every property, it'd break us. There's just no way we can do it.
Yeah, anytime you mention something like that, I think of the Engle property. It's the first one that comes to my mind, how long it took us to finally get that thing cleaned up. And
That one.
we're still
That's
dealing
the
with it.
county,
I know, that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I
It's,
mean?
yeah, it's,
when that's private money.
Yeah.
Hits a little more,
mhm,
But that's state legislature, it's not
right,
us.
right.
And clearly they're not very smart, so.
I'll point out, I mean, we adopted several years ago, two or 3 years ago, Chris and I had adopted certain chapters of the International Property Building and Maintenance Code to specifically address the connection to illegally established septic systems. Now, somebody running a hose across a yard, I don't know how that would apply, but the reason that we did that was to try to help support the health district in their lack of enforcement ability when we had lots that, somebody had dropped a tank illegally, specifically in and around these vacant parcels that are being rented as an RV parcel, like in Sunland, for example, that, had the ability, or being advertised as having the ability to, come throw your RV down for the concert, connect to septic on site, run a hose to the hose bib. But I don't know how it would apply to somebody just, arbitrarily draining a hose in their yard or out to the street. But we do have that tool in our toolbox if that was something that Trevor and his team wanted to look into and would support. But, and that enforcement happens within my office, so could happen within my office.
Well, the problem, I think, is sheriffs don't have time to mess with it. You guys don't have time to mess with it. So how do we fix it other than just some education?
And you mentioned something, about the health department. What is their stake in this, I guess, as far as a stakeholder goes? Other than, I know you said they don't have the resources or the personnel, but would something like this fall under their purview? To me, To me, it sounds like it does. I don't know, Jim, but it does to me.
It sure feels like it,
Yeah.
but again, you know, you know, like we get calls all the time about, you know, almost uninhabitable, you know, dwellings, that mold and, you know, all of the things that, you know, is not in our purview, but it's not, also not in theirs either, surprisingly. So I don't have a real clear understanding of where their boundaries
Yeah.
are
I
for
don't
enforcement.
either. Yeah.
I will say in their defense, I mean, you know, Mark's team had, you know, we recently had a meeting with some officials from the health district and, you know, talking in and around these pop-up taco trucks that are showing up. So I do know that they're active and have enforcement ability and lean on you guys for support.
Yeah.
I just don't know, I don't know where those lines truly exist, which is probably needs to be explored.
Yeah, that's the first question that I think of is, where does the health department fit in all this?
Yeah, I mean,
Joey, so are you an enforcement for them?
No, they can
I
enforce
don't
as
know
well.
about you, but nobody at the health district's really gonna make me real nervous when they come write me a little notice. you
No,
know what I mean?
but they have enforcement ability. We support them as they're working right now
What
with
does
the.
that take though? When did that happen? Is there an example of that taking place?
I think one of the
recently?
meetings.
So I can speak to that specifically. So I've been overseeing the code enforcement team under our special operations division for 2 years now. And I'm still learning a lot, but this came to my plate. The undersheriff advised that, hey, there's a concern about the taco trucks. We staffed it up on our side, determined that there needed to be some interaction with the health district. Trevor came, Jim came, Michelle came. We met with the health district, said, hey, here's specifically what we got. They gave us some of their rules and regulations. And I went just kind of as a courtesy with them to go make contact with one of them out of Pike Quincy. They go through their thing. I'm just the heavy there, the badge and the gun in case things go sideways. But in that case specifically, I'm there to support them, but I'm not taking the enforcement action until or unless something comes up that's more clearly identified as something I can do as a sheriff's deputy. So it's good interactions. We had a great meeting. We identified some of the issues. Trevor was there with his attorney's angle on it and identified a couple things, but we'll still support it. It's just whether we can enforce it or not. That's always the question.
So that,
That came after Cindy brought the concern up one of my updates.
yeah, I mean,
And
the
it happened-
shooting at the other one in Moses Lake, it's a problem, right?
Mhm.
But-
So
now, was there a ticket issued, or they just
they
say-
shut them down and gave them a notice.
but then they pop open the next day anyways?
They pop up on the weekends now. I'm still tracking that with them, specifically in Quincy, since I live there. It's easy for me to see
Yeah,
when I'm not working. But yeah, so it goes to an infraction or an enforcement process on the next one. I'm gonna link up with them and say, hey, Friday or Saturday evening, let's make a date. Let's go out there and find them again. It'll still be on the health district.
To answer that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak over
Go
top
ahead.
of you.
No, I'm good.
To answer that question, the health department does have the ability, and it's 70, RCW 70 something, they can escalate it ultimately to a misdemeanor if there's operation without a valid permit to do that. So they do have that enforcement mechanism.
and how long does it take to be able to enforce that, because these pop-ups are over a year?
So they have the ability to issue, that can be issued if they are operating within that, and then you're going through the criminal process. I guess to circle back to the question, particularly with the open septic that was out there, perhaps it may be prudent to schedule a meeting with the health department with Jim. We can all sit down like we did with the pop-up taco truck, thank you, and see about potentially a plan to go through and enforce. Perhaps that it's the same thing as going out there. That might be able to get a little bit of movement to have that, but we can get people on board and kind of start chipping away at that point.
I'm gonna meet with them today, hopefully.
And I
later.
will add that Director Chevelle has been great recently. Not that she hasn't been in the past, but she's allowing her employees to flex their time because these trucks are popping up after government hours. And so what's been helpful is with the partnership with the sheriff's office and then her staff's ability to flex their time to be available during those off hours, I think we'll eventually, hopefully nip it in the bud. But I
haven't seen them out on Airway Drive for a while now, so.
And I haven't either, although we just got a report that I think we had contact in Quincy and they went away for a second, but then have come back. But again, I just wanted to point out that we have significant support from the health district. They want to get it figured out. And so to Trevor's point, I think we could probably, Michelle and I can set up a meeting with Director Spell and we can have the conversation and of course invite Mark's team and sheriff's staff, so.
Well, and I just want to throw in there, I did talk to Stephanie about this. They were not able to kind of go out and regulate it because they needed the sheriff to help them. And there's been a great communication and connection, help with the sheriff's office so that they are getting the help that they need. So it's not just the health districts, it's also the sheriff's office and kind of that team working together to get those closed down.
Speaking to the septic issue as well, I know of one case specifically, and it was up by Grand Coulee, it was outside of Grand Coulee. We found exactly that. It wasn't even a septic system, it's just a hose going into the ground, and God knows what happened underground there. But that was part of a code enforcement issue that was already identified and came through the complaint process, and it was specific to an RV on the property being used as a residential dwelling. So in those cases where we see those, we use that as part of our determination for the code enforcement process. So it rolls into it, but specifically as far as the health district concerned, we're not necessarily taking enforcement action on their behalf, but we are still able to issue infractions and up to even citations criminally in those cases where we've identified it. There's also the code enforcement issue as well. So we see those things out there. That isn't necessarily the primary reason we get the complaint, but it's definitely out there.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how we could make some changes. Get our county cleaned up a little bit.
And I'll take the opportunity to put in a shameless plug for something that's on consent. There's a couple $1,000 upgrade that we're looking for approval today to SmartGov to help bolster the communication between agencies, between our office and the code enforcement staff. So we have an existing module available that's active in SmartGov that is specifically for code enforcement that we use for stop work orders. But this proposal, I think it's roughly a little under $3,000, would reconfigure SmartGov and open up an online portal that's available to the public, similar to the permit portal, where those complaints can be filed. We can disseminate them out to the appropriate staff. And then the public also receives a PIN number and can check in and track the progress that Mark's team, my team is making towards, whatever that complaint might be. So.
Okay, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
And I think Caitlin's gonna go through our code, right?
Not his part.
And and she's saying UDC, but she's also talking about Title 14 and 15. She just doesn't know that.
I gotta get through with what you're
And 6.
No, I'm definitely looking at 6.
Okay, well, it's almost 9 o'clock, so, but I appreciate you guys coming in.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to work on it.
Well, like I said, I think getting in the partnership with the health department will help. I think at least let them know we're still supporting them and any avenue that they may have or need assistance with.
We'll let the traffic unit know to cruise around the base, look for cars that don't need to be parked on the roadway. Legally tag.
Right. Okay. I appreciate that. If nobody has anything else, and we'll go to recess for a minute.
Cool.
So.
All right, is 9:01 and we're here for a consent agenda. Review work session.
Oh yeah, they're doing a review right now, so if you don't mind
Yep.
giving that little.
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah, so I assume that Salt Lake City thing is where some of your officers may go for treatment or.
Yeah, so Caitlin was just asking me, so the Salt Lake travel, out-of-state travel for Tanya Steele and Taffy and Wright, they're going down to First Watch's headquarters to do some in-person training on site. And we have sent some of our employees down there that have been in need to some inpatient treatment. And this is just getting 2 of our peer support team members down there to get some in-person training instead of doing it Zoom or whatever else. As far as I know, if I recall correctly, this one is, we're just looking for approval for them to go out of state for the training because it's being covered by First Watch.
And then I'm assuming are they just going through this Deer Hollow for just to see what it's like?
They're going to Deer Hollow. They're also doing real in-person training at First Watch's facility that's down there.
Okay.
I don't know the minute-by-minute breakdown, but I do recall that Tanya Steele did have a hour-by-hour breakdown of what they were going to be doing while they were down there for the training. Does the board have do you guys have any other questions on that?
No.
I know, I was just looking at it online, looks like something that's probably needed for some of the officers at times.
Yeah. You're looking at Deer Hollow online? Yeah. We are, unfortunately, we're getting to a time in everybody's lives that that peer support and the either inpatient or outpatient treatment is starting to become necessary. The days of keeping everything inside are all gone anymore, especially for some of our younger officers. So we're trying to encourage them to get any help or at least reach out to somebody, and our peer support team is a huge part of that.
Well, sometimes it's professional support that you need.
Anymore, it sometimes feels like a daily occurrence that we get notified by somebody on our staff that they need to talk to somebody in peer support. Yeah, definitely a worthwhile investment for sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
You bet. Okay,
Thanks,
if
Gary.
you guys don't have any other questions, I'll get out of here.
But that's work.
See you later. And reminder, just in case Rob didn't see it, you have a walk-on, that contract from the fairgrounds also. And
For design?
yes, Jim is online. If you have questions for him, I can.
I don't have any questions. Jim would already know my concerns and issues on this one. I don't like stuff like that. Because it's not used enough. And you use it more, then it makes sense. It's like, it's hard though, because if you don't support it, it's like, oh, you're against this. Well, it's not you're against this, do more with it. That's my issue with that.
I've spoken with Jim several times about doing stuff, beyond fair.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
If we can just get, more events going on in that arena. So it gets used more than just once a year. And I think he's online right now.
Yeah, he's on. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can let him talk about it.
We also have Jessica Olson online. have any questions for the emergency management item, she's there also. There's Jen.
Morning.
Morning, Jim.
So is this the consent agenda policy with regards to the increased commission rate?
No.
No, we hadn't, that hasn't come up yet. Actually, I thought I saw that on.
This is a engineering design contract for, I'm guessing, the announcer booth. Yeah, announcer.
Oh, yeah. So it's been reviewed by Trevor and signed by the agency. We need to do something because it is not safe.
Do they not make like temporaries that could just raise up, like on a scissor lift or something?
Not that would pass our building department.
Well, since it's a walk-on, do we want to think about it and then come back to it next week so it's not a walk-on? Because we're not going to have it completed this year. It's more of the engineer. So if it's not really needed as a walk-on, it might be best to actually put it on the agenda.
Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I'd definitely rather see it on the agenda. It's
Yeah.
not an emergency.
Yeah, let's wait and put it on the agenda because it looks like we're maybe hiding something or trying to slip something through because it really, I mean, I feel like it's not really a walk-on if we're not doing it this year.
Yeah, we're not in a hurry, it doesn't sound like.
The only thing that's pressing on that is understanding what the budget would be to build the thing for the capital budget for next year. That's really the pressing issue. And so we can do it next week and talk more about it. I'd be happy to come into a meeting as long as it's not during the week of fair and chat more. And we can get Tom in there too. And I think Tom has a good understanding of why we're doing this.
Okay, and Jim, we do try to save the walk-ons for really urgent issues. And if this isn't an urgent issue, it's better if the public sees it and it goes through because right now they don't see it as being posted. It's just kind of it's something that gets slipped in. So I would like to do to save it for next week if.
Yeah, we can do that. That's no problem.
Okay. That's what we'll do then. We'll just hold until next week.
And then the only other thing I have is that that is not a walk-on is the consent request for the increased commission structure for booths that we are revamping. And I put the reasons on that consent request. I'll do whatever the commissioners want to do. I'm just trying to figure out a way to recoup some of the money that we are investing in these booths to bring them up to health and safety standards.
Yeah, when I looked at online, most everybody's 20 to 25% on their commission.
Yeah, a lot of the fairgrounds are 20% minimum and then
Plus a booth charge.
plus a booth charge and plus a electrical and garbage charge in some cases too. So
What fairs are we talking about?
hold on a second. I've got a list in my
Does all of them have like a booth fee deposit? It could be up to $2,000 depending on how big the show is,
That's
but
just a deposit.
it's a deposit.
so Ellensburg's at 20% across the board and 25% that only accept cash. Enumclaw's at 20%. Grace Harbor's at 20%.
All Washington fairs are at 20 unless it's a state fair, then they're up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to
we're-
say Yakima was 25% possibly. Yeah, we pulled some up, Rob. Just kind of did a quick Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them have weird ones like Spokane is 22 with full food vendors and 24% for kettle corn, elephant ears, novelty food booths.
Yeah.
22.5% for
Just have to
Cowlitz
be careful
County.
with that because, even Spokane is only 190,000 attendance, 200,000 attendance. You start getting your commissions too high, it gets a little crazy.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, if you got 2 million people through the gate, I'll give you, 30%, but.
Right. What's our current?
20 for profit, 15 for nonprofits. Both of the ones that we've invested in are nonprofits. So part of the discussion is also who's responsible for repairing and maintaining that equipment. And if we are going to charge an extra 5%, I put in the policy that we would be responsible because honestly, I want to make sure that the equipment's good to go. We bought it and I would want us to maintain it.
Right.
Most organizations don't have the capital, nonprofits, the profits maybe they do, but most nonprofit organizations wouldn't have the capital to invest in to bring the booths up to current safety and health standards. I mean, if you look at the Lions booths, there's one booth there that every year we get dinged because it doesn't have a hood over its cooking facilities. That's probably one down the road we're going to have to consider putting a hood in.
Jim, do we still have that extra hood? Because we did buy 2 hoods a couple of years ago.
The extra hood went in the TLH booth already. It's already been used.
I probably have to abstain from this one.
But I know you have an opinion, so I mean, it's important to share your opinion, I think.
Yeah, but I have many hats, right? Obviously, I got the business side, which I pay 20%. I pay $20 an hour. I pay all my food costs. I pay every single thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's also the community side, which is you do it for the cause, not for the money. The business, obviously, you do it for the money, not the cause. So you can kind of see both sides. I think an equal percentage. A lot of fairs I do are that. They're equal. They're the same either way.
Yeah, most of the fairs that we reached out to, because I reached out to all the fairs that are county-based fairs, and most of them are 20% across the board or more.
Right. Which makes sense.
It is funny though, Ellensburg puts that 25% if cash only. It's like, if it's cash only, they're stealing more than 5%. Like, come on.
I don't know if I'd want to make Katie mad.
Can't watch everywhere.
Yeah.
Be impossible. Plus, how you can improve it?
Anyway, that's all I had.
Okay. Cindy, you got anything else on the consent agenda items?
I do not, but I do feel like we need to continue to have some fair discussion on that, like increasing the nonprofits, just. I
think
just
it'll be the same all across the
need
board.
to look at that.
Is she want to hold that thing or is she want to put it through? It's not going to apply until next year, I would assume.
Right.
Yeah, this year we've already written the contracts for the fair, so this would apply for next year. But I think we want to give them plenty of notice, especially the Lioness, because it does affect what they're going to pay next year.
Right.
We don't know what the overall revenue is going to be for the TLH booth yet because they haven't had a year yet, so we'll know better this year. But even at the Lioness level, it's an extra $5,000 a year, which will take a long time to cover the investment that we're going to make in that booth, which is the right thing to do, but it's not going to be a huge amount to them, in my opinion. They will say different.
Have 70 grand into it.
They will say different, yeah.
But yeah, but if you don't maintain it and don't update it, then it's just gonna fall apart. So then where would we be at?
Put a trailer stall in and let them go buy their own trailer.
Not that Rob has an opinion or anything.
Well, because I just do look at, like, from my stance is like 75, like, we'll just take Small Guns booth. What'd you do, 65 grand into that thing?
Yeah.
And they pay what, 3,000 to 5,000 a year, probably 4,500 in commission.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's 15 years before the county recoups their money. All the equipment's garbage in 10.
Right.
We're gonna have to replace it at 10.
Yeah, so now you've got me paying for their, business operation. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of hard. As a vendor paying for all my, like, for everything and trailers and stuff. And then as a citizen, it's like, obviously general citizen wouldn't know that, but I don't know. I guess I'm more open to it when it is a nonprofit. Putting the money into a for-profit, I don't know. I don't agree with that one, but. So
I don't
some,
think we would make the same investment for a for-profit
yeah.
business.
So, but on a building that's not any good, just making a 50 amp plug-in with water and a drain spot would makes sense to me.
Well, I think we need to put the cover in, but I really think we need to stay away from putting our appliances in and cooking where I didn't realize we did that. So I feel like they can either rent because they have rental opportunities. But I do feel like we need to do the hood, but everything else that they use to cook with, I think they should be supplying that.
That's how most of the contracts are.
The other option would be to just come up with an equipment lease agreement if we end up putting some equipment in there, and that would be separate from, and it could be based on the value of the equipment installed. I was trying to make it simple.
Yeah, I don't know how many nonprofits would have equipment like that laying around, so they'd have to buy it and then take it out every year. Is that,
No, you can buy it and leave it in there.
Yeah, because we do lease them the buildings for the nonprofits right now are a 5-year building lease.
so then if they have like a gun show out there and somebody's open at their booth, do we get a commission off that as well?
Yes. Yep. Any interim events that they open for, we get commissions for. The only two booths that we don't get commissions for are the Moses Lake, anything that's at the rodeo. So Moses Lake Realtor Association and the old Kiwanis booth that's now going to be the Christian Academy's booth, we don't get commissions for. And we have to figure out how to do a contract for those because we're still responsible for maintenance of the actual facility. But I haven't figured that one out yet. And it just came to light this last week when we started asking some questions from the Rodeo Association.
Yeah, because I know the Realtors Association pays the Rodeo Association for the use of
Right.
that.
We get no revenue off that booth at all, but yet we maintain it.
Right.
So
We do
maybe
get revenue from
in the lease agreement, the rodeo association should maintain those buildings while they're renting them.
I think you're on the right track, Cindy. I think you're right.
Yeah, because if they make enough money to send all their people to Las Vegas for the rodeo every year,
Yep.
PRCA, so I think if they can afford to do that, they can afford to pay a little bit for the use of the buildings.
Yep. I agree.
Good on everything else. Thanks, Jim.
You bet.
We're gonna go into recess until 9:30 then. Good morning, it's 9:30 and we're here for our prosecuting attorney's office update.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
We emailed an updated contract list this morning. Our office was inundated with quite a few contracts over the last week and a half, so we do have a little bit of backlog, but we are working through those. We have quite a bit that are out for waiting comments and whatnot, but we are working on absorbing those and moving through those. And so unless there is any specific questions regarding that list.
You got busy this week.
It's been very busy over the last week and a half, so it is a lengthier list than what we typically see, but we are working on absorbing through those and getting things out as timely as possible.
Did somebody send you in this autonomous tractor testing contract? Looks like it came from Blair Coke.
Yeah, that looks like that one is going to be assigned to Ms. Durbeck in our office. She has Public Works, so I can't comment on that specifically.
Okay.
The comments do look like, or at least on the contract list from what I can see, is it looks like it is with Blair Coke at this point in time and awaiting comments back from that. I can certainly follow up on that with
I was
Ms.
just
Durbeck.
curious. I know that you been contacted a long time ago about that, so I was just curious how it was going. I don't have any questions on any of the rest of them.
For the next topic that I would like to move to, I would be requesting an executive session to discuss potential litigation, RCW 42.30.1101I. And this would be concerning employees in the assessor's office.
Oh, how long do you think?
Let's start with 5 minutes.
Okay. We are going to go into executive session under litigation RCW 42.30.1101I for 5 minutes coming out at 9:38. You want to switch? We are going to extend for an additional 5 minutes coming out at 9:42. It is 9:43 and we're out of executive session. No decisions are made.
That's the feeling of taco.
And unless,
As far as other updates at the prosecutor's office are concerned, we did welcome Chad Jenks back to the prosecutor's office yesterday. He's here as another chief deputy. Historically, in the prosecutor's office, there was a chief civil and a chief criminal. That's no longer the case. We're basically going to divvy up job duties or descriptions between both Chad and Carly, just to make the office run more efficiently. It's still the civil department's just, I say just, but 2 or 3 people, and to have a chief just over 3 people, that for me doesn't really make sense. So we're going to kind of divide the labor between, I'll say, the 3 of us, and go from there. So Miss Biddle is in trial probably this week, starting tomorrow. So Chad and I will be getting together and talking about how to divide stuff up. But we're very excited. He's a very hard worker, very organized, and we're glad that he has rejoined us in Grant County. So
Good.
It was a long fought battle.
You feel good now then? A little bit better?
A little bit better, yeah. It is the official year 1, so.
Year 1 now?
Yeah, today,
Dang.
yeah.
That didn't seem like that, huh?
Can you believe it?
Goes by quick, doesn't it?
It's really fast, yeah.
Is that all we got then?
Yep.
that's all I have.
Got anything, Rob?
Nope.
Okay. We'll go into recess until 10 o'clock.
Sorry for her.
I gotta get my act together here. It's 10 o'clock and we are here for our human resources update. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, open forum for public comment, 5-minute time limit, human resources related topics only. Have no one in the room and
You have 6 attendees. 3 of them are from Compensation Connections, and then you have 3 additional attendees. So if you have any public comment for human resources related topics, please raise your hand via Zoom and I will give you the ability to unmute.
Not seeing any. Move on then.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are going to start with number 6 today under budget, finance, and compensation. We do have compensation connections with us online, and they are going to present their final report to the board.
So Elena, Kathy, and Shannon, I'm going to promote you to a panelist. So you'll have the ability to unmute and share your screen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Great. Sharing my screen. All right.
Where we're going.
I assume you're seeing our presentation.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great, great. I'm Alita Goodman with Compensation Connections, and I'm going to start the presentation off today, but I'm also going to introduce the rest of our team. So I'll hand it over to Shannon.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Droman, and I am the owner of Compensation Connections, and we have really enjoyed, just want to say, shout out to Decorah and Gina. We've really enjoyed working with them on this study and appreciate the opportunity to have supported the county in this work. Kathy.
Hi, I'm Kathy Merrick. I'm a senior consultant, and I worked throughout the project mostly on the market study side of things. So,
okay. Well, oh no. Started the project, an overview. It was really a total compensation program review. So we conducted a comprehensive study of your job descriptions. We made some recommendations for that and some efficiencies. We partnered with the project team as much as we can to simplify processes and make those recommendations. We organized the jobs into job families. We did FLSA analysis for some of the jobs that were impacted by the FLSA changes. And we also concluded the project with a market study for some of those benchmark jobs and then shared those results with the project team. Okay. There's our core members of the project team. Not everybody is on the call today. It was a pretty large team, but we really appreciated, like what Shannon's saying, the work we got to do with Decorah and Gina. Okay. For the job description analysis, we reviewed 300 jobs across Grant County. And in doing that work, we organized them into job families. And so when you're organizing jobs into job families, that is like putting like jobs together. So you can see the ones that are similar, and we consolidated some of those. When they're so close, when they're so similar in duties and requirements, we recommend consolidating them. So we recommended consolidating about 80 of those jobs to decrease the number of job descriptions you have across the county. And that helps improve clarity and consistency across the departments. We use best practice standards on reviewing the jobs. We made recommendations to things like the minimum qualifications, the physical requirements, and really tried to standardize some of the language used. We created a job architecture framework, which I'll show an example of. And then we also created a new job description template to standardize those jobs, which I have a screenshot of. It's too little to see, but we made this, and so all the jobs are put into the new job description template. For the job architecture guide, so this is what we use when we're trying to level jobs. Those jobs and those job families will come in a variety of different levels. And so we created a standard job architecture document. in practice when we're reviewing the jobs and place the jobs in that architecture. I have all this for HRT. And then we conducted the FLSA analysis. And so with the Washington State changes to the salary threshold of what can be exempt from FLSA, that does change some of the positions. And so we reviewed them and made recommendations for which jobs passed the duties test to be exempt from FLSA, or those that would probably be better off being paid hourly to follow in the Washington and state guidelines. And so we did an evaluation for those jobs. Okay. And then our compensation study. I'm gonna hand it over to Kathy.
So as part of the whole project, we went back and did some compensation analysis. We used several comparable organizations, so Benton County, Clallam, Cowlitz, Franklin, Lewis, and Skagit County. In addition to the comparable organizations, we also pulled in some published survey sources, in particular for some of the social service jobs. We didn't find a lot of comparable organizations that had similar jobs, so we pulled in some published survey sources as well. So economic research, Lightcast, which has advertised wage, and the BLS data, or occupational employment data, and then a couple of nonprofit surveys as well. And what we found is that we worked with Grant County to select the jobs that we included in the report. We researched pay structures as well and took a look at that. And we have some recommendations around pay structures. And we recommend combining Grant County's structure into at least one or two pay structures versus multiple structures across the organization for consistency. Next, yeah. So overall findings, again, we benchmarked about 100 positions. On average, total, the organization is on market. So it's about 104% of market. And really, when we think about market, we think of plus or minus 5% as being on market. So overall, on market. And then in the details, we looked more closely at the individual jobs, and you really have 46 positions on market. And then you have about 26 and 28 jobs either below or above market. So there's a mix in there. Most of the positions are really spread across the organizations that are above and below. So there's not one area. It's just jobs here and there throughout the departments that are above or below. So some areas of focus, but really overall, it's looking in general pretty good for most of the positions. And again, what we found is a lot of the social service positions weren't in the comparables. So we, again, pulled in that published survey. And then when we were looking at some of the job comparables out there, we found that Grant County has maybe more levels of jobs than some of the comparables do as well. So, so again, I mentioned earlier that we would recommend consolidating some of your grades into one or two pay structures. It's for ease of administration, better alignment across the organization, and it helps with internal equity. And it helps with kind of a consistent pay structure design across the organization.
Great. So a summary of our overall recommendations is we really recommend the practice of maintaining a benchmark jobs list that represent different jobs in different job families across the organization, across different departments, different levels, and also those hot jobs or jobs that are hard to fill, maybe have gone up a little bit higher based on market over time. So to keep a list of that so that you have regular jobs to study. And we recommend that you would plan to do a salary study. It's typical practice to do a salary study every 2 to 3 years to keep your data fresh and to stay on market. And then continue reviewing job descriptions before posting new jobs, or at least a minimum of every 2 years to keep your job descriptions up to date. Maintain a consistent, impartial process to review job qualifications and levels. That was one of the things that we noticed. It's easy to think about the humans instead of the job, and so to have somebody outside of it to review those, like your internal HR team. Review your job catalog and consider utilizing job descriptions across the organization before creating new titles. That was some of the consolidation that we did. And then, as Kathy mentioned, consolidate your grade structure. You currently have about 15 different ones, and so there was plenty of opportunity to combine some of those and to have a more just consolidated grades for ease of administration. All right. And then we have time for questions if anybody has questions.
I don't have any questions. Thank you, though.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
See those numbers then.
We will do that probably next week.
Okay.
All right. We will sign off.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you all.
And I do have a copy for the board of the presentation. You have that?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, back up to item number 2, labor relations. We are going to be, today, we're starting 2027 bargaining, so we're excited about that, to get that going early this year. So keep your fingers crossed that we have it done by the end of the year. We do current contracts open still are the deputies, renew clinical, corrections, and sheriff's support. So we are in mediation on those. Are we in mediation on support? Not yet, but thank you. Wasn't quite sure. Okay. Any questions about that? No? Okay. Nothing on item number 3. Item number 4, I am going to ask for an executive session, 5 minutes, under personnel disciplinary matters.
Okay, we are going to go into executive session for 5 minutes under personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F, coming out at 10:18. It is 10:18. We are out of executive session. No decisions were made.
Okay, item number 5, position management. I have a few things for you today. So I have a PAR for out at the prosecutor's office. They're asking for a step 4 in that band 22, a step 4, which does need board approval. The gentleman who started yesterday. Yes. I'll just leave that with you, Rob, because I have others for you, and I'll just pick them up all at the same time. The second item, the board had approved a hiring, a backfill. So hiring freeze request was made for the fairgrounds. But along with that, they have interviewed and have a selected candidate. There's been some negotiation back and forth, and they're asking for a step. Jim is asking for a step 4 in that band. And again, that will need the board's approval. I don't have a PAR for you for that one, because we're still in the negotiating with the candidate, but I do need the board's approval or denial on that request.
I think we talked about it yesterday. I think we were fine with that.
Rob?
Going out.
I did review Cindy asked that I review her resume. And so I reviewed that. I also looked at the notes from her interview, and I'm comfortable with placing her at that step.
I think she's got the qualifications.
She does.
Who was it? Or what position?
It is for the fairgrounds coordinator position.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that one.
Okay, so I need either 2 yeses or I bring it back next week.
I don't have
Or-
any info, so.
Okay, and Cindy's not on. Okay. Hopefully she'll bring it back. Hopefully they don't lose her in the process. Do you want to look at her resume?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Were there others though?
Yeah, there was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, she was the chosen candidate from the interview pool. I will circle back around to that one. So you have some time to review that one, that resume. Next item is Public Works is asking to wanting to backfill the admin support supervisor who did resign last, I believe, Tuesday afternoon. So otherwise we would have had it in last Tuesday, so it's coming to you today. Clerk's office is looking to backfill 2 deputy clerk positions. One is due to a promotion and the other one was a resignation. Those. And then the final topic I had on my agenda is the treasurer's office annual leave payout request. I did ask payroll if they had ever paid out over the 240 hours. And again, that is what policy says. There were 2. One was resent out of the treasurer's office, and that was a mistake that was made by payroll. And Daryl then approved that, so that got paid out.
And who is that for? How much was, like, how many hours is it?
Hours, I have that here. Hours was 256.60 for
You do it on purpose?
to Miss Wilson,
I don't know what that is, but,
to Connie.
so yeah, it was done on purpose. They said they were gonna do that the whole time.
Okay, well, that's not policy, so
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand, but now you just did it for one in there, so you have to probably do it for the other, right?
well, but that it does, and my caution to the board the last couple of weeks has been, I mean, I want people to get what they've earned, right? But we have a limit on it in the policy for a reason.
Yes.
How that
The limit.
How that came about, where it came from, I don't know the history on it, but it's 240 hours. If the board chooses to change that, you have the ability to do that, to change those hours.
And how many is this one?
So the request is for,
How many?
360.
yes.
How'd you get
No,
120 over,
it
though?
was 3, it would be 320, yeah.
Who left with that?
The other person was in 2020, and I don't have any history. That was out of the public defender's office,
Oh.
but I don't have any.
It was Connie, wasn't it Connie that
For 320?
was 320?
No, she was 256.
Connie was 256.60.
Okay.
Who's 320?
The request is for a payout of 320
For her?
for her annual leave. That doesn't include the sick leave or the
But you did pay out the
comp time.
256?
Payroll paid out 256 to Connie, which was an error.
Is it the same? Are we talking about the same
No.
person?
Carrie is making the request.
Oh.
This is what happens when you're not here, listening to me every week.
Yeah.
So no, two different employees. One has already left. It was paid out in error. This one, she is making the request to cash her out in full. And the board that can only be done above the 240 if the board agrees to do so.
I see.
So.
I got like a lot of question issues, I guess, with that one, so.
Okay. So I've held it 2 weeks. I will hold it again.
I don't know, I guess.
And
Or
then
we
you,
just go executive, chat it up.
okay, I'm good with that as
How
well.
long do we have? 11. Yeah, we're good.
How long do you need?
10.
Okay.
Personnel disciplinary matters or?
No, it's right evaluation.
Job applicant evaluation.
Evaluation.
10 minutes? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna go into executive session for 10 minutes. Job applicant evaluation, RCW 42.30.110(1)G, coming out at 10:37. It is 10:37 and we are out of executive session. No decisions were made.
Okay. So my final item, I will hold that for next week when hopefully all three commissioners will be here. That is what I have for you. Do you have anything for us?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay. Commissioner Jones, do you have anything for us?
No.
Okay.
Guess not.
And I will collect those documents from you.
Could I ask for clarification? Was the, just for myself, was the fairgrounds coordinator, is there a decision on that for the?
Oh, yeah, for
It was-
that one.
It was, oh, thank you.
No,
I was supposed to come back to that one. So coordinator,
Do you support that?
I do.
Well, then I'm fine with it. I think the step is, I don't know. What's the
It's a
difference?
75-cent difference.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. It's the step number though.
I mean, the step up.
What's
Step
that,
4.
step 5?
So the request was a 5. An offer was given at a 3, which the department head has the ability to do.
So 3.
The candidate requested a 5. And then, so the request to the board is to come in at a 4. Which is usually how negotiations work. So.
So the question remains, did they take it out of 4 or are they gonna come back?
Well, the person could come back and want more, but if the board is at a 4, you're at a 4. Or if the board is at a 3, you're at a 3. The person would then just need to make a decision based on
Right.
what they need. I would hope that whoever is hired into this position would be able to take on more of an office lead role than it has been, to help keep things in the office running more smooth and collaboratively.
You think that applicant will do that?
Looking at her resume, I do. Yeah. And looking at the answers to the interview questions, yeah. I would think that she has the skill and ability to do that.
So that leads me to the next question.
Okay.
Are we gonna have to come back next week if she comes back at a 5? Or are we allowing him to go to a 5?
Well, he's not requesting a 5. He is requesting the 4. So the board could approve a 5 today, or sorry, a 4 today, and say we're not willing to go to a 5. Or the board could say a 3, and we're not willing to do a 4. It's really,
Well, my only concern is then we're back to square one and we'd have to find somebody for,
yeah, they would have to go back to the drawing board or look at this.
I support the recommendation of HR on this one.
Okay.
Other than that, I have to draw opinions.
see what happens.
Okay, so I hear 2 yeses
Yeah,
for
I'm
the
good.
recommendation.
I'm good with it.
Okay, thank you. So next week, there will probably be a par coming, which will be that 4, and then if the person accepts, and you'll need to approve that par. And sign that. Okay,
Fair enough.
sounds good. I have nothing further for you.
Thanks for coming. It's nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you too. I'm glad you're back.
Yeah.
Look all tan.
That makes 2 of us. If Gina's excited, I'm back too.
If I'm excited.
Yeah, if you're excited as well, Alex, there's 2 of us.
Alright. It's 10:42, we're gonna go. It is 11 o'clock and we're here for our commissioners meeting. I'll call it to order. Open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit, and we have 1 in a room. 3 in a room. No comment, Jerome?
None today.
I have 3 attendees online. So if you have public comment, please raise your hand via Zoom and I will give you the ability to unmute.
Oh,
And we're not going to have the walk-on item this week, right? We're just gonna hold it till next week.
correct.
There
All
were
right.
2
Oh, yeah.
walk-ons.
There's 2? Oh, there's the sheriff one, right?
Yep.
Where's that one?
Travel.
There's that one. I think I had it. I might have mixed it in here. It's this one, I think. The Deer Hollow.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the agenda with the addition of 1 walk-on item from the sheriff's office for staff to attend some training in Salt Lake.
Okay. I will second that. Since we don't have Cindy here. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. So we'll move on to correspondence, emails received that need response, letters of support. Where do I start? I think we've already covered all the emails we received that need response and letters of support, so we can move on to Commissioner Roundtable.
For Wasac County Leaders Conference, we have you have until August 31st for the early bird rate, so there's still time. Rob, you'd said potentially the first is for the second day.
But when is it?
It's the November 17th through the 19th. And Kevin, the notes I had said that you would attend if Rob was not going to attend. Are you wanting to go at all if Rob is not staying the whole time?
I don't think it's necessary.
I was just kind of set like the first day. And then part of Wednesday. So I don't know, what is it? It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
So, yeah.
Yes.
Are you going to that conference?
No, I'm not going to this
No,
one.
okay,
I went to the one in Spokane last year, but
right,
I'm not sure that I'm not gonna be having back surgery, so.
okay. Is Tom going? Do you know? Did he say?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Basically right before that.
Yeah.
You'll have like your second or third count by then. Now, if it's like within one, then they won't go.
So, do you want me to wait to register you and follow up, or do you want to be registered now for the 17th and the 18th?
Honestly, I don't know if I need to be registered to drop in one day, to be honest. Like, I don't think they're gonna have.
It says you should.
Well, of course it says I should, because it's probably not free.
You got your name tag?
Yeah, you know, I'll roll in with the shirt on. I know enough of them. And I can't see Wasatch wanting one of their youthful commissioners to not, you know, swinging through.
You want me to not do anything right now?
Yeah, unless Kevin wants to plan to go.
Let me think.
Give
about
it a
that
couple
for-
more. And we have a month.
A little
Yes.
time.
The
Let me think
room,
about that.
the concern is the room block for the hotel.
Hey, I feel like we just get what's the rate? Because that's what I was thinking, maybe we just grab the hotel, we can always cancel. Or we can get it on our own and then cancel them. Because it's in Tacoma, right?
Yes, at the the 1500 Commerce Street, the convention center.
Is the hotel connected? The room's
I mean-
connected to the,
You have to follow the link to.
have to really look into it, I can't remember.
So then, yeah, they have, it's the Marriott Tacoma downtown, the rate is 136 before tax, and then the Hotel Murano, and that is 159 before tax.
Oh yeah, you should get, for the 17th, you should book that, because it's 270 on,
Checking in on the 17th.
yeah.
Okay.
They're probably out the 18th. But yeah, we should probably I would get in the room block and then cancel if we have to. For Kevin and the other one.
Do you want to, for the other one, for the potential third, do you want that check-in on the 16th, check out on the 20th? Or
I think I don't know. Is 17th the sign-on intro and stuff, or is it like for agenda?
There's affiliate meetings in the morning of the 17th.
So they won't be on that.
Board of directors from noon
They
to
won't be on that.
3. Budget hearing is.
They won't be on that. That would be probably me.
So then it would just be the welcome reception in the evening.
Yep. So I would say no.
Okay, so check in on the 17th and
So I'll go to ledge steering, and then I would go to welcome, and then I'd do the morning, and then I'd leave.
And Thursday, it looks like there's stuff until 3:30 that there's a lot of TBDs still, but if like.
Every time I've gone, I've left, I think after the second day. I think I stayed one time and it was kind of annoying, but I stayed.
That's interesting. They have a picture of the Grant County Courthouse on the Wasatch website.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
First page.
Looks AI though. It does.
That's good, yeah.
Hey, Kevin, I'll come back to you,
Okay, yeah,
but I'll get the.
Yeah,
room
do
for
it,
both of
because
them.
that's, yeah.
You go with that too, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing that I had, not WASAC, is that tech services and various offices and departments have been working on a website redesign that was offered from Civic Plus. It's just a facelift really for the website. It'll make it a little more user-friendly for anybody on the phone. So after all this time, the launch of the new site is scheduled for next Thursday, the 13th, from 6 to 9 a.m. They anticipate that it will be a seamless transition. The plan was to send an all Grant County email just to let people know that that was coming, but they have marketing materials prepared to help with announcement of the site redesign. And the question that we had for the board was if you guys wanted there to be a press release.
Good, probably.
Rob? We will get that out this.
Anything else? You're just not gonna say?
We received another email from the member of the public that I discussed with Human Resources. Is asking questions about the Open Public Meetings Act. And the response that I gave about the concern for contacting each commissioner separately.
Yeah, I would just discuss it with the chair after the meeting.
Yes,
That sounds good. Do you, is this a good time for us to get an update on what, for our next
Roundtable, yeah.
hearing? You guys want to fill us in on what you're gonna present for the,
Hearing.
public
The
hearing?
Viewmont vacation.
Yeah,
Yeah, just the continuation of, I think this is the third continuation of the vacation of Viewmont Drive with the gate inside county right away. Just a continuation of it, really. And then my recommendation is still not gonna change to it, so it's either gonna be.
And are we waiting on how it was written before we do anything? Or do?
so
There-
I think the
I think there's like three, if I recall, 3 ways to go about this.
So to answer your question, the last hearing was continued because there was a hope that the other side of the gate would petition for vacation also.
But then they do.
They did not. So this is the hearing that was scheduled at that, for that opportunity.
And there was nothing that came forward, so really, yeah.
Man, I hate status quo, but on this deal, that's like, I don't know.
Well, it's up to you.
Huh?
It's up to the board, I mean.
Gee, thanks.
Any other roundtable items?
No, that's all I had. Motion for the consent agenda items.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve consent agenda items 1 through 21, holding number 11 for a week.
Okay, I will second that. More discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the walk-on item added today for the sheriff's office for 2 of their staff to travel to Salt Lake City to attend training and to visit the Deer Hollow Trauma Center for a $560 per diem cost and other transportation.
I'll second that. More discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Those on.
You're looking for it this week.
I know, sorry, you had to go, but. three of us should go to one.
Whatever you want. When's your walk on?
Maybe the weekend.
Your AP batch?
How many days have you been here?
It's my second week, first day, second week, or no, second, it's Tuesday, second day. Yeah, it's going.
She's been there 7 days.
The consultant agreement for Leah Beckman?
All the kids and grandkids are going. It's that way.
7 days. Went by too fast.
For you, you're on vacation.
That's what we call it.
So it'll be,
Yeah,
Just not here.
I mean, yeah. It was kind of nice though. Had less negativity.
so you're hearing today for that. It's right after this.
You gonna hang out and have fun with us?
Sure.
Extension request?
What's your recommendation?
Reimbursement request for OIC?
To remove the gate and reopen.
What's the word called?
The
What
Grand
did I
Kiss,
say?
Smart Gov.
Gates, you ripped
In a polite way, yes.
out. No, he won't be polite.
It's hard not to join in on this conversation. I
This is
don't
the
think I
request to
should
waive
prior
the
to making a
demolition fees.
decision.
This is emergency management request to purchase.
Contractor, second place, on their bid price.
Is, yes, this is the award recommendation and letter for CPE. What?
Oh, did you want that back?
No, I thought it was something I don't think it was.
Were you thinking it was the fairgrounds thing?
Yeah, but-
Don't you worry.
I know.
I got it.
It just looked like it, like after I
Suspicious?
slid it away, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what was that?"
This is an award recommendation for extrusion. Is that right? Extrusion welding? Yep, that one.
So,
Felt congested and all messed up prior to the smoke.
Resolution transfer of jurisdiction.
we should have done
My
my seal road
ears
today.
messed up.
Cause it's 5:38 this morning over.
Oh yeah, is it like,
It's not even at all.
It was bad.
do you go to the doctor again or
Not yet.
This weekend.
Could have been gone.
just don't do any more flips into
Yeah.
hills?
Friday.
Did it look really cool at least? When you
The
did it?
flips?
Yeah.
Well, nobody really said like, wow.
Saturday morning.
What have I done it again? No. I was like,
Take a video.
I think they went like this. And then they kept talking. I was like, oh God, what's that word of it? And I'm like,
So they call it that.
Resolution notice of hearing for an amendment to the tip.
Yeah, it was 5:38, got up to 6:20.
gosh.
Because we had to shoot a little bit of oil, because the water was already placed. So we had to shoot a little bit of oil to create room for storage tanks, so. They shot till we had.
I think I drove like,
Called them
I
off.
don't even know how many hours during that period of time.
Moses, one of them was
70,
I haven't looked in a little while.
80.
You gonna air now?
Mhm.
I worked about the same. Well, I don't know. I remember
This is 3:38.
it was fast. So I was just thinking, it went by so fast.
This is an amended out-of-state travel. You guys had approved for someone to go to a training and now they are resigning.
Almost everybody's.
Out-of-state travel
Your
requests.
box, your flaggers, all those folks are gonna do outside. So.
How you trying to use
No, I think you get tased too.
Out-of-state travel request. Every now and then.
I don't think I'll watch that.
Purchase order. Every now and then, I think. You get tased just once.
Yeah, same with pepper spray. I think you get pepper sprayed too.
They say that's way worse.
Yeah, I think it is way worse. Yeah,
Isn't that part
no.
of the?
I'd rather get tased than pepper sprayed.
Isn't that part of the, some like, I really wanna say police academy.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
don't think
it's-
that's right, where they pepper spray you and then you have to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's it.
Times.
Oh.
Now I know I said it's not here.
Still online.
So I just said it's not here.
Okay, we're gonna go to recess until 11:30.
See that out at first.
All right, it is 11:30 and we're gonna get started on this, open record, public hearing for the Dune Lakes vacation of a portion of Viewmont Drive is continued from 6/2/2026. Dave, you wanna give us an overview of where we're at?
Yeah, so this was a vacation portion of Viewmont Drive from Dune Lakes to the gate. On our last hearing, we decided to do a continuance to give an opportunity to the residents on the north half of the property to also put in for vacation, since as one of the options we would want is the entire vacation. And I have not heard or seen anything on a petition to vacate the northern portion.
I think they declined.
Yeah. So where we sit with that now is kind of, my recommendation still has not changed. It's to remove the gate and reopen, to deny this vacation and to remove the gate and reopen. And if vacation really still is the idea, we still would want to vacate the entire portion, not just this segment.
All right, not just half.
Excuse me.
So at this time, did everybody sign in when they came in?
Yeah.
We'll open it up for public comment. You have 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. We do have a meeting at noon, so we'll have to keep it short, so if you want to
Yeah.
state your name and.
Kim Junkers, I live in Dune Lakes, and I'm on the HOA board as well. I do have a signed copy of an addendum to the vacation from one of the residents on Viewmont. At the last meeting, it was stated we needed a majority to keep the road closed from Dune Lakes to Crestview. And with this one document, I didn't mail it because I was afraid it would get lost in the mail. That is a majority, this one signature. Would you like to see this?
Public Works would need to, I would assume, I mean, I can certainly take a copy, it would be part of the public record. But Public Works would need to weigh in as to what that would be for the petition. I don't.
We've been instructed by legal counsel that everybody had to participate in this. And the last I was informed is everybody denied, so north of the gate. 1 out of 3 north of the gate doesn't make a majority north of the gate.
We were told it was just a majority at the last meeting.
Because there was 3 on the south.
From the Dune Lakes to the Crestview. Or, yeah, from Dune Lakes to Crestview, that Viewmont section.
In the last meeting, I remember it being that both sides of the gate had to request the vacation.
Right.
Because both were going to end up with roundabouts giving up portion of their properties. Was that not that one, or was that that one?
The Catherine Bren Public Works technically do not need roundabouts because the distance is short enough to where that's not required.
houses, right?
So I'm Jeff Packwood, Dune Lakeside on Viewmont. So there's 6 homes that are involved in this vacate. And we have 4 of the 6, that would be majority, would it, correct?
For both sides or just for?
For vacating it.
Right. but-
Three on the south side, 1 on the north side. There's only 2.
So my
Or
understanding.
three on the south side, 1 on the
Yeah,
north
my
side.
understanding from the last meeting is we needed to have the majority on the north side and they would have to petition to vacate.
Yes.
And I don't know that I've seen a petition to vacate on the north side at all.
Well, that's what I just handed in. We didn't want, I was afraid to mail it because I didn't want it to get lost in the mail before the meeting. So it's signed and it's right there.
The petition to vacate is signed right here?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
Yes.
we're going to end
It's,
up.
I did it as an addendum to the original petition.
All that does is just gives 1 out of 3 on the north side.
So is
The
it
impression
only,
is
is it
not
only
clear.
signed by one parcel owner on the north side?
Looks like 2,
Not on the north side.
and yeah, I can't verify it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I'm one of them and the
And
other
I'm
one's
one of
sitting
them,
next to
yeah,
me,
so-
so I can guarantee it.
We're both here.
Yeah, so,
I'm also here,
yeah, you're the,
You're the one.
Yeah.
the one.
and it mainly affects my property more than anybody else's, so I'm in agreement for it.
You're in agreement for the vacation or not vacating?
Excuse me?
You're in agreement for not vacating or vacating?
Or for vacating.
Don't keep me closed.
It affects my driveway, by the way. It's my only access.
What was that, Rob?
So I understand.
This only has 1 signature. It's 2 signatures, 1 address, so.
Okay, so the signatures that you have are just for you and your husband or?
Excuse me?
I'm,
Me?
yeah,
The one I just turned in is him and his wife's signature.
okay.
So there's only 1.
So it's on 1 parcel on the north side then? Is that correct?
Yeah, this one right here.
And then did you guys say you're the other side
we're on the
We're
north
on the
side.
north
and
side.
you're not for?
Exactly.
But I'm missing 1 more.
So we have
1 of 3.
Would you be willing to tell us why?
Sure, I would,
Just
actually, I
'cause I'm
wrote a
tr-
little thing that I'd love to do it.
Okay.
My name's Gene Huberto, I live on 532 Viewmont. And I kind of just took some general notes, and I know vacations are rare and only occur when a road is truly unused and no public need exists. These are a few reasons for the public need. Access emergency services. When the gate was first installed, it was acknowledged the gate needed easy access for emergency services, even if it was needed at that time. And the development hadn't even been developed much. Now it's probably close to 100%. Opening the road will benefit the public by hearing and alleviate the traffic on Castlewood and Goodridge roads. Especially Castlewood, it's not a straight road. There's a lot of kids there, bus stops. The road, if we open this gate, it's a straight through. You don't interfere with all that. And then if vacated residents may lose their right for walking access. Many of the neighbors have enjoyed this walking and biking access for years. It'd be a shame for the public to lose this. So I'm asking you to please consider the benefits for the public over the desires of a few. Thank you.
That the landlord gets paid
And
What you're going to tell me, Mr. Sanchez,
in
is
the
that
last
you went
meeting,
out
we
to
had
the landlord and
discussed
granted a
an easement
lease.
for the
Is that what you
walkers. To be able to walk, even if the road was vacated, we discussed there being an easement for the walkers.
So how would that differ from what it is now?
Barbara Neal, Public Works, we were instructed by legal counsel if you want to allow for an easement for walkers, whether it's approved or unapproved, you would need to deny this vacation until the owners grant an easement to Grant County, at which time the vacation would be approved and the easement would be filed at the same time. Legal has instructed us that you cannot deny the vacation and then later accept the easement. They have to happen simultaneously.
I'm so sorry, to clarify, was it a denial of this petition or just a adjournment of this hearing? For
Either way.
a later hearing to be scheduled?
Yeah, I think they could probably do that too.
Do them both at the same.
Yes, they have to be at the same time, yep.
So is there currently an easement for water and anything in that road?
Not that I can recall. Not 100% sure on
They're
that.
on separate systems.
If I remember right, there's a water line or something.
There is a water.
There'd have to be.
There
'cause
is
the
a
water
water
line
line.
There
goes
is
through
a
there.
water line.
Yes,
It's in the property though, it's not on the road.
goes under the road though,
Still
from
an
our
easement.
pump.
Still an easement.
Just like the utility easement, there's an easement for the utility, but it's in line with the transformers and everything switchgear now.
So that line doesn't run across underneath the road as well?
It does.
Yes, it does.
Irrigation line does.
The irrigation line does for
Irrigation.
Dune Lake.
Okay. That's what I was saying.
So I'm the other property owner on the north side. And we've vacillated, there's pros and cons on both issues. We have reservations about, I think that we know the homeowners now and how we think that they would respond to that becoming their private property, but there's no guarantee that somebody sells and everything changes and we lose control of the guaranteeing of it being public access for pedestrian traffic. And that's been very important to us. We feel like it's extremely important to both neighborhoods. We sit there and our house is orientated to the lake and that's our view. And we see people walking all day, every day, and riding bikes and pushing strollers. So that's been important, but we also don't want a gate that can be totally gated off and then become a parking lot and a place for people to just, dump stuff because they feel like it's just, and then we'd have to go to extremes to post private property signs. And so that seems like a real headache to us. So, we're leaning towards non-vacating and opening the gate.
So that gate was put in 20 years ago.
Right.
It's been closed with a fire latch on it, whatever you want to call it. Yes, it's been broken over the years. It needs to be repaired. We understand that. The walk area has been left open for 20 years. Nobody's blocked it. Nobody said nobody can walk through there. There was an agreement with the county and the Jacobsons when that was done to vacate that road, to have that put in. The county, from my understanding, didn't get it recorded correctly, but nothing's changed in 20 years. It hasn't been needed for emergency access, no different than the people over on the north side of that gate. They're worried about the kids out on the street and playing. We also have kids on that side that, we built our house there based on that as a dead end road. The kids can go out there safely and play and not worry about cars speeding through and doing their thing. I mean, they're two separate neighborhoods. It was designed that way, it was developed that way, and I think it needs to remain that way.
Yes.
Hi, Sherry Jacobson, and I think, yeah, if that gate was taken out, I believe the cars, we would have a lot more cars coming through there at a faster rate and I think we're gonna see less walkers, less bicyclers. You know, right now, when they're walking down Dune Lakes, especially when they're dressed darker clothes, you do not see the people. And I think it'd be kind of like a speedway through there for the vehicles. I really do. And with 159 more or 69 more lots coming in, really, we don't need that traffic on the north side of the fence coming. I mean, they have other ways out. They have quite a few other ways out.
My road, they're all coming down my road now.
Because on what?
Castlewood.
Castlewood.
On Castle,
Scenic is a,
right, Scenic was put in and that's why we got or agreed to have the gate closed. If that was closed, we paid for Scenic to come over to Dune Lake Road ourselves. We paid for that. And the county agreed, and that's why it got closed.
have you ever been on Scenic?
Yes, I go on Scenic a lot.
Do you walk on it?
No, I do
I
not.
used to live on Scenic. I don't anymore. I got off for that reason.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I, in fact, walk on Dune Lake Road, you know.
Well, you know, if there were sidewalks, it'd make a whole bit, you know, make things a lot easier, wouldn't it?
It would, but then.
But none of us have sidewalks.
We don't have
Right.
sidewalks.
Both those
Not gated.
developments were built, Pelican Point and Dune Lakes were built. And they put the amount of houses in that they put in for the traffic, for all of that. Most of them done with that gate in place.
Right. I can tell you, I moved there 15 years ago, and first time I drove by that, I wondered why the gate was there. I called the guy from Grant County Fire, he came over.
Okay,
and
so
said,
we're
"Yeah,
gonna, we have 7 more people online that
So
they need to
I-
have a chance
just
to
doesn't
speak
seem-
as well,
We
so.
were there before the gate. And
I just have a quick question.
been there 20.
If the current owners were to sell their property and the road was vacated with easements, do the easements go to the new owners?
If it's a recorded easement, yes, it will
Okay,
stay with the
okay.
property.
Okay. That's fine.
Want to open it up?
Yes, you have 7 attendees online. So for those of you online, if you would like to make public comment, please raise your hand via Zoom and I will give you the ability to unmute. Did receive some written, oh, I apologize. Paul Stenhouse has his hand raised, so. You'll be able to unmute now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, did you guys receive a letter from the Pelican Point Homeowners Association?
It's one of the written comments that we have.
That is one of the written comments that we're gonna read into the record right now.
Gotcha. All right. I hear a lot of back and forth about this is our road, that's your road, this was built 20 years ago. Let's move on, people. That road would be used by traffic. It would have been available for emergency services, and it's a minority group of people that want to have their own private little dead end because we don't want to have cars go past us, but we live in a neighborhood. Move on. Open the road up and make it for the majority beneficial use, not the few. That's all I gotta say. You can put me back on mute.
All right, thank you.
Did you say you were gonna read the Pelican Point letter
Yes.
Yeah, I'll public comment, we read into the record.
out loud or?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I represent Pelican Point, so if you wanna read that now,
Yep, we're
if you
gonna
have
do that
any
right now.
questions, I can answer.
One of the public comments that we did receive was a letter of questions about the Viewmont vacation. I believe that Public Works did reply to these questions. So I can read them in if you would like, but again, it is all questions that Public Works has answered. I just kept it here in case the board wanted to hear them.
So Public Works has already responded to those.
Yes, they replied when they, I believe Barb O'Neill was the one that replied when they came in, but.
Okay. So is that right, Barb? You've already replied to all those questions?
Yes, as far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
So the next one was received June 11th, from, it looks like Jenny Williamson. It's a little hard to read the name, so I apologize about that. It says, hello, I am writing to voice my concern about the gate on Viewmont/Dune Lake Road. As a member of the community, I feel it is vital to have an opening for pedestrians and bikers at least. If you've looked at the area to get to or from Dune Lake Road, the access is scenic. There are no shoulders for walking or bike riding in that stretch of road. It is very dangerous, so the gate needs to have access through that area instead. That's the end of that letter. The next one is from Sean Doherty and Tracy Hunt. This one says, Dear Grant County Commissioners, I am writing to express my strong opposition to the petition to vacate the portion of Viewmont Drive Southeast located in the Dune Lakes PUD road log 21603 BMP .556 to EMP .620. I want to ask that the board protect our community's access rights by keeping this a public roadway. The current petition claims that this road segment is entirely useless to the county, but that overlooks its active value for community recreation. If the county decides to completely vacate this right of way, it will permanently cut off our access for walking, running, and cycling. It essentially privatizes a public asset, which is deeply unfair to neighbors who rely on this route for outdoor activities. The importance of preserving this public access was already recognized by the county 20 years ago, when the board originally allowed a gate to be installed under resolution number 06-139-CC to stop driving through traffic. The county did so with a strict binding condition that the closure, quote, shall accommodate the passage of pedestrians and bicyclists, end quote. This 2006 resolution was a fair compromise that protected the neighborhood from heavy car traffic while explicitly safeguarding our right to walk and bike through the area. If you approve the total vacation of this road today, that vital compromise is completely erased and public access will be lost forever. I kindly ask that the board honor the clear intent of its own historical resolution, protect public recreation, and deny this road vacation petition. Thank you for your time and your continued efforts to keep Grant County accessible. The next was submitted on behalf of the Pelican Point Community Association Board of Directors. I did, per Commissioner Carter's request, attempt to contact them to get written confirmation that it was the opinion of the majority of the Board of Directors, and I did not receive a response, but it sounds like there is someone in the crowd that could answer questions. So I'm going to read this in next. So on behalf of the Pelican Point Community Association Board of Directors, we respectfully submit this letter in opposition to the current request to vacate the southern end of Viewmont Road where it connects to the Sand Dunes development. The PPCA board is reluctant to support the transfer or closure of a publicly owned roadway for the benefit of a limited number of adjacent property owners. We believe that removing the existing fence and reopening the connection between the two communities would better serve the public interest by improving traffic circulation, enhancing emergency access, and supporting overall community connectivity. Furthermore, it is our understanding that both the Grant County Fire Marshal and Grant County Public Works have expressed concerns regarding the proposed closure. If this understanding is correct, we find it difficult to support a decision that would contradict the recommendations of the agencies responsible for public safety, emergency response, and transportation infrastructure. As development continues east of Pelican Point, including the growth of the Dune Lakes area, we anticipate increased traffic throughout the surrounding road network. Experience has shown that motorists frequently seek perceived shortcuts, even when those routes offer little or no actual time savings. As a result, we expect additional traffic on Scenic Drive and other neighborhood streets as the area continues to develop. The PPCA has already received complaints regarding excessive traffic volume and speeding along Castlewood Drive. Reopening the Viewmont connection could help distribute traffic more evenly and reduce congestion on Castlewood. We are also aware that some Dune Lakes residents regularly travel through Castlewood to access child care facilities within our community, creating additional traffic during both morning drop-off and afternoon pickup periods. For these reasons, the Pelican Point Community Association respectfully requests that the Board of Commissioners deny the current request to vacate the southern end of Viewmont Road and instead consider alternatives that preserve public access, improve safety, and serve the long-term transportation needs of both communities. Thank you for your time and consideration of this matter. And then we have a letter in opposition to vacating Viewmont Drive, and this was received from Matt Sanzone. To whom it may concern, I respectfully submit this letter in opposition to the proposed vacation of Viewmont Drive. I am concerned that this matter has now reached the third round of discussion despite the significant public safety and community concerns that remain unresolved. In addition to the points I have previously raised, I ask that the following considerations be included in the record. Accessibility. Closing this access point would significantly reduce safe access for individuals with disabilities and those with limited mobility. The route is used daily by pedestrians, cyclists, and residents, and with an assisted living facility planned nearby, the need for a safe and accessible connection will only increase. There is no comparable alternative route that provides the same level of safety. Emergency access. I must again emphasize the dangers associated with limiting the neighborhood to a single point of ingress and egress. In the event of a wildfire, medical emergency, traffic collision, or other incident that blocks the only entrance, emergency response times could be delayed. Those delays have the potential to increase property damage, injuries, and even the loss of life. Established public use. While I am not an attorney, I believe the long-standing public use of this access may warrant consideration under Washington's prescriptive easement laws. At a minimum, the history of public access deserves careful legal review before any action is taken. Reasonable expectations of property owners. The petitioners purchased their homes with full knowledge of the existing gate and public access. Likewise, many other homeowners chose to purchase in this neighborhood because of the connectivity, accessibility, and safe environment it provides. Those residents also have reasonable expectations that should be considered. Neighborhoods naturally include pedestrians, cyclists, children, playing, pets, and homes in close proximity. Individuals seeking complete privacy generally choose larger rural properties rather than residential neighborhoods. Our community continues to grow with more than 100 new homes planned in the area. Restricting access at a time of significant growth is contrary to sound planning and public safety. While concerns regarding the gate may have existed decades ago, I have not seen documentation supporting the current proposal, and community needs have evolved considerably since then. Rather than vacating this access, I believe the community would be better served by opening it. Doing so would improve emergency response, traffic circulation, pedestrian safety, and overall neighborhood connectivity. We've already experienced fires within Dune Lake, including one over the 4th of July weekend. It is not difficult to imagine a future scenario where additional homes are occupied, families are celebrating a holiday, and emergency responders are delayed because there is only one way into the neighborhood. Opening the access would also provide practical benefits for road maintenance, school bus operations, garbage collection, and everyday travel. I see numerous advantages to maintaining and improving this connection, but I struggle to identify any meaningful benefit to the broader community from closing it. I respectfully ask that the decision be made on what best serves the safety, accessibility, and long-term interests of the entire community, not solely the preferences of a small number of adjacent property owners. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration.
That's it?
That's what I got.
Thank you.
In answer to your question about did that letter represent the majority of the board of Pelican Point, the answer is yes. Logistics prevented and vacations prevented me getting any more signatures, but had the board's approval.
Okay, thank you. So are we required to make a decision here today, or?
The options from what I understand is that you could make a decision to deny the vacation petition and hold a separate hearing about the gate and opening the road. You could choose to close this hearing without making a decision and schedule another hearing down the line. We would republicize. It would not be a continuation of this hearing. You could continue the hearing if you wanted to do that. If you chose to continue, you would need to select the date and time right now. If you wanted to close this hearing without making a decision, we could wait and schedule it later on without announcing when that would be at this time until we know what works best for the group.
I would prefer that we have all three of us here to make a decision. I don't think it should be on Rob and I solely. So I would prefer we wait until Cindy's available and we can make that decision.
Do you want a regular continuance or do you want something different?
I think we just just continue and then we make the decision.
So you need what, 2 weeks of publishing? So 3 weeks.
So there is time in the afternoon of the 25th of August. So at 2 p.m. after your budget and finance meeting. Or look at the afternoon of September 1st. Your last meeting that day is at 12, so you could do it at 12 if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I'd prefer to do that.
Do you have a chance of doing the public hearing on a Monday?
Yes.
Just because my Tuesdays are, I'd prefer to be not have to continue again unless we're gonna make a different decision. But if it's on a Tuesday, in late August, it's hard to say that I'll be for sure at it.
Monday, August 24th at 11:30 you could do. Or Monday the 31st at 11:30 also is open.
I like that one more.
The 31st.
Yeah.
Kevin, we can't hear very well back here. What's the reason for the continuance?
I'd prefer that all three of us are here to make that decision,
Okay.
not just Rob and I. So I think I'd prefer that Sydney's here as well. That's the only reason.
So can we be guaranteed on the continuance that everybody will be here?
Well, that's why we're trying to schedule it
That's
for
what
a
we're working
Monday
on right
instead of
now.
a Tuesday based on my scheduling.
Okay.
Because
Because everybody here, pro or con, is
yeah, you're taking
an
time out of your
inordinate
life.
amount of time and effort and worry. So I don't know. You have to do what you do, but.
So the 31st.
At 11:30, yes. And would the board like to leave the public comment period open?
Yeah, we're gonna leave it open, so. 11:30.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I moved to continue this hearing till August 31st at 11:30 a.m., leaving the public comment portion of this hearing open.
Okay, I will second that. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Hey,
Let everybody know that. You want me to do that?
No, you can just let me know.
We're gonna extend it out till August 31st, at 11:30. It's a Monday, and
Will all the information that's been provided will be under consideration, or are you just starting all over?
oh no.
No, all 5 of them or whatever we've done will all be under consideration.
If we're keeping score, is there more for or against?
I think it's a toss-up right now. I think the longer we extend it, the more people are getting involved.
I guarantee you.
Anyway, so. Do we have to have a motion to close or?
No,
No, you're in.
it's closed.
Okay.
So you can go into recess
That
or
concludes
into our
our-
next meeting.
That concludes this hearing for today, and then we'll move into our next meeting.
You can just leave it open. Go ahead, open it up.
It's 12:15 and we are here for our LTAC tax advisor, lodging tax advisory committee meeting.
Hello, I'll brief introduction. So this is the 2027 grant kickoff meeting. This is the regular, I say regular because we've done it twice now, counting this one. Meeting of LTAC to discuss the grant application period, how long you want the application period to be, when you would like it to start and end, and to plan the meetings after that application period closes. We did turn this into an open public meeting because there was an expressed desire from a quorum of the Board of Commissioners to be in attendance at this meeting to discuss with LTAC the ideas for the disbursement of the funds. And Unfortunately, Commissioner Carter had something else come up, so she's not here. I don't see her online yet either.
Should be free by now.
Um,
I can talk about that.
so then, Rob, do you wanna?
But her concerns,
No, do you wanna run the meeting or do you want me to?
right, we can just go. That doesn't matter.
We have the approval of the agenda.
Oh, it's a different one.
We
have two. So when you guys get done with that, you look at it.
I didn't have one of these.
This is, she said it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Okay, well then.
Yes, she is. Oh.
I'll call the meeting to order and begin with a review approval of the agenda. If I can have a motion for that.
Approve the agenda.
Have a second.
Second.
All right, motion and second to approve the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, then we'll roll into a brief public comment, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. Do any call-in users have any public comment? We have no guests in the room.
We have 4 attendees online. So if any of the attendees online have public comment for the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, please raise your hand via Zoom and I will give you the ability to unmute.
All right, then we will move past public comment. Vice chair appointment. Do we have a chair appointment or is that me?
It's you.
Didn't even have to work for it. So would one of you love to be the vice chair?
Who is the vice chair now?
You.
Ma'am.
Oh, I
And
am.
so I would,
Okay.
I
Well, I
would
didn't even
move
know
to
it, so-
renominate
I didn't know I
Marilyn
was
to
the
be
chair.
vice chair again.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to do it again? I could do.
She's,
This
does
for
a
just,
great
this
job.
is a
right there.
All
1 year,
right, then.
Yep. 1 year. Okay, I
Do
would
we
do
need
it
a
again.
motion say for that, or are we good with just a verbal appointment?
Usually do one.
All right, well, I have
I
a
move.
motion and I have a second. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Marilyn can continue to be the vice chair. 2026 LTAC bylaws review and approval.
Well, you know, what's really funny is I put that on there and then did not send those out for your guys' review.
All right,
Sorry.
well, that's
So, could we potentially circle back to that?
Mm-hmm.
I guess with that, there might be updates after that marketing position is
Yeah.
hired as well, so. I can circle back to that.
Okay, so new business, desired grant disbursements.
That was
What's the
the,
meaning on that writing?
I worded that strangely, I apologize. That was that addition after the discussions with Commissioner Carter and said that,
So Commissioner Carter concerns with how much county LTAC funds are going to city chambers of commerce?
I think so.
Heard this third hand, I wasn't here that day.
I think so. She had said that after the grants were awarded last year, there had been discussion about the board meeting with LTAC to plan for the desired distribution of the
Okay.
funds.
Well, we're here, you got
Yep.
Okay.
the majority of both boards, so I guess that's a question is what direction, Kevin, do you want to see and what do we want to change? Is there anything we want to change? Do we want to keep giving to city LTACs or not? Or city chambers or not?
So she was concerned because we gave 30,000 to each of the 4 chambers, right? Did she feel that was too low or too high? What was the concern?
I think that her question was whether or not the county would want to be giving
Money to
county
the
LTAC
cities.
funds to cities that have LTACs, which some of them are obviously smaller. But it was, that's how I understood it, was that the,
Yeah, I don't really recall what the issue was as far as who was receiving the money. I think she just wanted to be more involved with the decision
Understand.
making, I'm assuming.
Well, and I can understand, we want to make sure that we're fitting in with any state guidelines and not doing something we shouldn't be doing. But on a practical sense, I will say, thinking about the Quincy Chamber, there's a lot of what they do that is out at Quincy Lakes and is actually more county-wide. They do fishing tournaments and so,
Well, and all chambers do, I mean, if Freda does all these events, all these chambers do events, which do bring tourism in, so, to me.
but I think the point is, are they doing it just in the city or, I don't know, I'm
Yeah.
speculating what city might have
Yeah,
wanted.
and then with the new marketing, what's their name gonna be, their
Tourism
title?
marketing and PR
Coordinator. Then do you wanna have them, they're gonna be more involved with all the chambers, is our idea, working kind of with all the groups and working on our tourism overall, so. Then you want that money not going to chambers, but staying for that position too. I don't know. It's just a conversation, I guess, for us to figure out the direction that we wanna be.
Sure.
As well as, do you wanna be more focused on non-one-day events or keep being open to the one-day events? Do we want to be looking at capital projects more? You know, the Gorge project still has a couple pieces left that need done. It's kind of just a meeting, I think that was originally to go over all of that stuff. I don't know what it changed last week. Isn't that when those comments were made?
Yeah, and so it was discussion last week about the board attending this meeting. And at the time, I'd asked Commissioner Carter if she wanted to be in attendance. She had said yes. But if the full board would want to be in attendance, she had said yes. Kevin had nodded, so here we are.
I would almost say, since you are the odd one here, like if you have direction that you want to see different, you would make your comments.
You are not the odd.
You know, that you're not involved for the
Yeah,
last
I mean, this is
5
my
years.
first meeting, so it's, you know, and that's the reason why I wanted to sit in is to learn. I mean,
Sure.
that's-
Appreciate
that's the
that
whole
very much.
purpose, you know, to figure these things out, but, LTAC is for heads and beds, right?
Yeah.
So. Doesn't, to me, it.
Yeah, so I mean, yes, that's true. But when you have a county that has a lot of rural places that put on smaller events, it's been an ongoing discussion of how do we help support that as well as stick to the main mission, which is heads and beds. So can we, legally do a small portion of the monies to fund things that are strictly smaller venues? Because otherwise, everything will go to like Moses Lake, who's in the Grant County Fair, who's doing the big events. So it's sort of the same way that our government tries to structure, so that even smaller entities have some say and some reward from it. Because they do contribute to tourism, even if it just doesn't generate a lot of heads and beds. So how do we we've always had this discussion, how do we balance it?
And there's been the discussion 2-day to 1 day. And see, like, I work at Sun Lakes Park Resort, so I mean, sometimes we have a 1 day. Those types of events, they're still gonna, that smaller event, like she's talking, we're still gonna bring that person in. Something looks interesting to that event, they wanna come. And so it's all about getting people to come here and experience Grant County.
Well,
If
my
they
theory
stay,
is-
great, but they might come back again.
Well, that's just it. If you get them here once,
Right.
you know. and
That's what we
they
found with
see
Sun
you-
Lakes Resort. I get them in there one time, they come back. So yeah, same thing. Yeah, same
It's
thing.
kind of a balancing act. So I
Yes.
mean, we have this discussion every year. How much do we fund? How much do we don't?
Yeah.
How do we help these smaller things
Yes.
that can?
Because they're important.
Because they're important and they also can grow into.
Into 2-day
large-
events.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've just always weighed every event on its value and done the best we could with the money that we're allowed to award. The stepping back to the chambers, for years and years and years, Goldie and I have served on this committee for a really long time, you probably too. But we've tried to not blur the lines between the cities and the counties. So we've always tried to look at Grant County as part of, the cities are part of Grant County. So that's part of, and because these chambers do a lot of events and they do answer a lot of questions. I sent a letter to the Wallowa County Chamber of Commerce and an email and a phone call and didn't get a single response back. So if our chambers are taking care of people like, they weren't taking care of me, they're taking care of the people that generates visitors. So I think there's some value in, maybe we should, talk to Cindy personally about that, why we've always handled the chambers the way we have. We've used to give them postage money, but that's old news now. But I personally, I'm from Mardon Resort, I personally like the 2 or 3 day events better, but I do recognize that they're a lot harder to put on. I think they promote more heads in beds, and so I've always leaned more that direction personally, but I do recognize the value of a 1 day event.
And where do you guys want to stand on capital improvements this year, just based on project? I know the county has a couple requests they're wanting to put through this year. But
I think that needs to be evaluated on a case-by-case It does. scenario, and we've always put that kind of behind the things that are clearly bringing in visitors, but maybe that's not the right direction. We should
it's
be
so hard
taking.
because now it'd be county Airbnbs, it's Gorge, it's U2. I mean, that's where it gets all the money.
Right.
Without the Gorge, without your 2 campgrounds, and without Airbnb, which is Crescent Bar and everywhere else, mine, I even have them. There is no big fund.
No,
Most counties don't have a big fund like we do.
No, we don't.
So,
Yeah, we have a neighboring county that doesn't have a single rural 2% payer. So we're very fortunate in Grant County that we have what we have here.
I mean, locally, so I'm in District 3, which is where the gorge is.
And Cave B.
And Cave B,
Yeah.
and Crescent Bar and.
Crescent Bar. Yeah.
My question is, how do you balance county capital funds versus using lodging tax to improve the roads and things out there? Because it doesn't I know that brings more money into lodging tax when we improve it out there, but it doesn't help the local residents at all, and they're not happy.
so they would mean like Sunland.
Like putting in.
Adding the 3 lanes was more about getting Sunland into Sunland than it was about getting Gorge. I mean, it was a mutual thing.
Right.
And so that's where that comes in. I mean,
Right.
the Gorge is what, 600,000 a year?
I know.
So,
I know that, but
and that's
what I'm
not,
saying is the local residents also should have say in what happens around the gorge, even though I just live a mile north of the gorge. So, yeah, a lot of residents are just not happy about it. So there needs to be discussion on what kind of improvements are we making? Is it only to benefit the gorge, or is it going to benefit the local residents as well?
yeah, so we had those discussions a lot 2 years ago, 4 years ago, when we did the first road project. And we were trying to add a way that we were trying to add cell towers for the locals, because your cell phones some of them weren't working, their circles weren't working. So we were like, all the stuff that we did, even that road project, because that was like me. And Tom helped me on trying to get cellular, trying to get more towers out there, because circles were going down on a 105-degree day because they're all ran on LTE. So all the planning was about Grant County.
I know, but the local residents don't. I'm just
don't.
telling you what local people say. I don't live right next to the gorge, so it doesn't impact
It's
me.
just hard I don't know how you get that out there, I guess, in a sense, is because they like to.
Well, another bigger
used to have
issue
meetings and they would come in
is
and we'd
that there's only one way in and out of Crescent Bar.
Yeah.
So why doesn't a lot of the talk is, why doesn't the county do something?
We did all the engineering planning for that, and I believe it's the ranch at the top of the hill is the main exit of that, and they won't give access through their gates in order for us to do
that
the
new
second.
housing development up there?
The nice.
Yeah.
At the top. But they wouldn't, so it wouldn't be all the time, but it was emergency access. But they would not give us the easement through one of their properties in order to build that.
Really?
But yeah, we worked on that before Kevin, I think.
Yeah.
I think 2 years, and we were ready to
It was
go.
difficult, and I'm sorry, I'm Tom Gaines, I'm the county administrator. And when we were working on that, we were having meetings with, the upper echelon of like Verizon Engineering, AT&T Engineering, that kind of thing.
Well, that was for the cellular.
And we even had some of the residents in those meetings, but it was difficult to get word out to everybody, as we tried to get through that, so there was a lot.
And then the Preston Bar second access, that was with Preston Bar, the homeowner association, PUD, and then us. And they just won't give us an easement in
And
order to.
is that the only option?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's their reason?
They don't want the traffic. They don't want the
But it's there
potential.
anyway.
No, it's not. It's a
It's a
private
double
gated
gated road.
community.
Oh,
Try because they can. How about that?
okay.
Yeah,
But if there was a fire,
yeah, oh,
I
yeah.
think they would definitely want the second
Oh,
road.
sure.
I mean, I think
Shoot.
Spokane is probably
Oh,
A good
yeah.
example.
Good example
The
right
old
now.
trails thing, yeah.
I'm glad to know that, yeah, so I can get
But yeah,
that
we
word
are-
out, because people
And I
are,
think we have the
why
engineers
don't we have
study for
a
it,
second
too.
road out of there? It's very dangerous.
Yeah, we had LiDAR from drones and we have a lot of stuff on the second access, even just for emergency exit. Hey, Brandon did all that. I wonder how you get that out to those people though. Just give it to you and.
Well, social media, I mean, does the county do more with?
Yeah, sort of. I
That's
have
how
pretty
you
good
get
following.
word out to
Tom's
people.
starting to.
But how do you do that without throwing the ranch under the bus? and
Well,
getting-
maybe they
getting
need to
sued-
be.
And getting
I-
sued or something.
Well, I don't want the county to get sued, but
No.
I don't know, people gotta think about it, because fire is a very real danger. I mean, and they know that. There was a fire down there just a couple of years ago. That came really close.
Has there ever been an accident on the road that blocked people coming in and out?
I think so.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
accidents
I
down
mean,
there
don't
all
want
the
to
time.
wish an accident on them, but.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to go down a rabbit trail, but, the question is, how much do we put into the gorge? That's the question. How much, and is it right to use LTAC funds for roads and?
To be honest with you, like the gorge, whenever we look at the tourism money, the gorge and then Sun Lakes is right behind them every time. Okay, when the gorge COVID was shut down, Sun Lakes was right at the top. You live in a tourist attraction area. You live in a tourist place. And so right now, we try to make that money in between this short a time. So bringing all those people to the gorge, yeah, the local businesses are getting money out of that. They are. But, and I understand
Well,
it's
it's the
hard.
farmers around there that have the
but I
issue with
mean,
it.
So Rob, what are the new projects that you were discussing with me, new county projects? Or do you know, is this not the time to bring those up?
I mean, it is, but I don't have them on the top of my head, to
Okay.
be honest with you. But there was like Road 1 was gonna be a road that went to 3 lanes. I think it was Road 1.
Is that out at the gorge?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like basically the road that goes through it and the surrounding roads. We're just trying to make it so if you lived nearby, you were able to get home or get out of your home without getting just
all the
stuck in
traffic, yeah.
RV traffic.
Makes sense.
So we're trying to figure out how to kind of create a,
A return road situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But our first, when we did the LTAC, I think it was 2022, we did 600,000. That
Right.
gave 3 lanes, well, because then I think the county matched.
They did.
And then there was something, it was like 1.8 million or something, grant funds, LTAC funds, county funds, and we were able to do the improvements that are there now. And they're still kind of figuring out how to operate the improvements even this year. I think they're doing better now, but the first couple were pretty rough. So it's just something that we look at. As far as county, I don't think you'll get the county to, I mean, you could, but I don't think they'll get it to where the county goes and puts just county funds into a project that only benefits, a private venue.
Yeah.
Because kind of like what you're saying about the LTAC funds is almost like, do you want your county funds only going there, or do you want them to be
Spread.
everywhere?
Yeah.
So, and it's not
Well-
on the tip right now, I don't think.
We've done a good job of spreading
Mhm.
for events.
Yes.
We always have it for capital.
Well, the year we gave the
Just
600,000
let him
was
talk.
pretty good.
Jen, you can unmute and talk. You're a board member.
Hey guys,
Oh, there he
no,
is.
so
Hi.
Ed?
hey guys, my apologies. I'm not there in person, but helping my dad out here with some of his spine treatments. Last one today, so I'll be back. Tom, Kevin, nice meeting you guys. Just one helpful data point that I think might be helpful is if you take a 5-year or a 10-year look back, and you see the pie chart of how the LTAC funds have been broken down against capital versus. Does that make sense? Like take a 5 or 10-year look back and see like how the LTAC funds have been used, spread on a pie chart between capital and events and chamber. I think it might be very telling like how we've done it in the last 5 to 10 years. And that can kind of give us like an approach of how to approach it for this coming year. Would be the first data point I think that would be really helpful to look at. And then second, I think is, just more clarity on what capital projects and size of those projects and what additional funding is coming through. So we're looking at that and then balancing off. I do think the information we got from the consulting group for the work that we spent to like get all that information, I think it'll help layer that up to basically see which of those strategic ones, will the funds go towards that will, accelerate some of those initiatives, would kind of be my third approach. So hope that helps or makes sense. But I'd always like to look at kind of like, historical, how we've spent so far. How does that pie chart go to what's on the dock this year? And then kind of get a sense of how we want to approach the year ahead. And I think the last note from me is then communicating that out to the groups that are coming in to right size their expectations. So that way, if we have, I don't know, like 50% of funds going towards 1-day events, then, if you're transparent about it, then you won't have like, 50 applications on it or, just those are my high level comments.
Do you have is there a number that you have in your head of how much you're gonna want for
Normally it's
next year?
like 1 million.
Similar to last year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which I've got that, it's 1.0, it was just a bit more than 1 million. 1021403 was the exact number. And I was just looking at this, what we awarded, and it's not broken down into, that would be interesting to see of what we awarded, whether it was 1, 2, or 3-day events. Or all year, like when you give the chambers, that's an all year thing. So it's a different way to evaluate it.
Yes.
We will have someone soon that will do all that evaluating and present to us.
Can you kind of outline what that change is gonna be?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Well, even comparing to what we currently have in tourism, how
Yeah.
that'll be different?
As far as the employee,
No,
Yes.
no,
Oh,
I don't mean
well.
specifically the employee, I mean the job itself. I mean, how is it gonna be different than what we've had with the tourism that we've been funding? Is that what you're even talking about?
No.
What are you talking about?
we're going to have a marketing coordinator that we hire instead of having a marketing agent, like Rochelle's position.
Okay.
We will have a full-time employee, which I would expect we're gonna get more work product out of than the consultant. So they will be, our plan with them is to work with chambers, to work with this board. Caitlin won't be here anymore. They'll be in on the tourism, work with that group, and then working with chambers, with us, and hopefully with businesses and with the resorts and with everyone is kind of
That's
the plan.
separate than what we give to the, out of the LTAC for tourism.
Say that again.
That's separate from what we fund for tourism.
Tourism will not get that portion of the money anymore.
It'll go to the,
It will
the
go
new
to the
employee.
employed person.
Okay,
Okay.
So they won't have
so
any
like what we used to
consultant.
have Burke Marketing.
Yes.
And then Rochelle,
Yeah.
is that the name Rochelle?
Yeah,
So whatever was funded that way, then those funds will be diverted to the county employee.
yeah,
Yes.
It will be a lot more diverse.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll have
But more say in what happens.
Well, more say, more control, that kind of
No.
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
things.
Do we have a start date for that employee?
We haven't published yet, have we?
No, it's with human resources, they're creating a wage scale for the job description right now.
That was my next question. You don't have that yet then, the wage scale, okay. And it's, yeah, probably based on experience anyway, so to a certain extent.
Sorry, Harriet. I only have one ear right now
Why is that?
because I popped one.
How did you do it?
Just jumped in my pool and it popped, and so it
Oh.
hasn't worked for like a month and a half. So that's why I say, can you say that again? Like I
You-
tried to understand, but I didn't get every
You didn't
word.
blow your eardrum, did you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So does
Still has
that
the hole.
repair itself?
What?
Will that, yeah.
Speak up, Marilyn.
Well, I can't hear anyway,
won't.
so,
I think I have to get surgery,
okay,
but I'm busy, so
yeah.
God.
So we need to get you a little.
yeah, I need like one of
A
those
trumpet.
things.
And then people would know to speak louder.
Yeah.
You hold that
Under
up.
the horn, please.
Yeah, sorry, I just
You don't need to apologize.
Poor thing, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so I think he wanted you to re-ask your question.
she did.
Or did you ask
yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
she did. I just
Okay.
apologize for like I didn't want you to think I wasn't listening. I just didn't hear you.
Well, we know that already. No, I'm just kidding.
What other topics do we have on this one? Recipient vacancy.
Yes, so Kevin Danby resigned from the Ephrata Chamber of Commerce, and then he also resigned from the committee. So you did receive 2 applications for that vacancy. There's one copy of each application on the table, and the commissioner has one also. One is from Cindy Matthews, who is with I believe a rental.
Yeah, it
Uh,
says she
said that
owns, she
she's-
owns a short-term rental business in
Yes.
Sunland Estates.
So I don't know that she is actually eligible to fill the recipient.
But she's also in
She'd
3.
be a payer, actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I thought, but I didn't wanna, I still
Yeah.
wanted you guys to see it. The other
Okay.
application that you received was from Ruthann Tobiasen, who is with the Friends of Lower Grand Coulee, and she is online right now if you guys wanted to.
So is
say
she
hi.
in the right district? Is she in
I-
1? Because
Yeah,
Kevin
she's
is,
in one.
is Kevin 1?
Kevin was one.
So she's in 1
Yeah.
also?
Salt
Okay.
Lake's one.
Yeah.
Grand Cooley's one.
So what district is this payer in?
She's in mine.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, she could take my place, no, I'm just kidding.
No, she can't. She would have to take Jedediah's place, is what she would have to do.
No,
Town's technically district.
No thanks.
But
so she's not going anywhere anyway, so, you know,
No.
Yeah.
it's a moot point.
we don't have a number 2.
So I have a question for Ruth Ann, if she's on. You said she was on? Hi, Ruth Ann. Do I just talk?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Hi, Ruth Ann.
Hi.
Harriet, I'm on the LTAC board.
Hi,
So
Harriet.
I'm looking at your application. Thank you for submitting it. Can you tell us a little bit, how long have you been in Soap Lake? And
I've been a property owner for 19 years and we have a small home there and I'm a part-time resident. But I do all my volunteer work there. And I'm there about half the year. In fact, usually I'm there every 2 weeks, particularly for Soap Lake City Council meetings. And so I probably spend about 2 to 3 weeks a year in Soap Lake, except when weather's bad and there's smoke.
Where is your other home, Ruth Ann?
Snohomish.
Oklahoma. So you go back and forth between the two. Where do you receive mail at your Soap Lake? address?
I don't receive mail. Friends, in fact, when I filled out the application initially, I was just all mail related to Friends goes to Soap Lake because that's where everybody is, but me. So no, I don't get mail there. Although we've been considering it, and we've been considering changing our residency too. But that's a process that we'll be going through for a while.
I don't know that it matters. I just know you have to, the rule used to be that you had to lay your head down in Grant County to be able to do any of these things. So I think you're doing that.
Does our bylaws say anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you keep a pillow there, right? So.
I've got multiple pillows. And a dog who lays his head down, a husband, kids and grandkids who show up.
When it comes to membership, it just lists the definition that's given by the RCW. So it shall consist of 7 members that are appointed by the board. It just says like the representatives of businesses that are required to collect the lodging tax, and the persons involved in activities are authorized to be funded by the lodging tax revenue. Your bylaws don't actually say that they have to live in Grant County, that I see. And Friends of the Lower Grand Coulee did receive lodging tax grant funds for this calendar year, so they do have activities
That qualify.
that qualify.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you were able to get the creative district from the state?
Oh, they have yes, it took a lot of research and a long-term application process. So they give you, the state provides what they call a workbook, and through that workbook, there are prompts that have you go out and talk to the community, identify your existing creative assets, be they built or intangible, I guess. Or, for example, Masters Theater is one of our creative assets, the building as well as the theater itself. We did community surveys. We actually had what do you call it? A SWOT analysis. We conducted meetings. And in the end, there's about a 30-page, yes, 30 pages of documentation, give or take, that you provide to the state of Washington. And then that goes before the Arts Commission Board. And they, in addition to submitting all of this documentation about your research and how you want to identify yourself and the priorities you're going to set for your district, you deliver a strategic plan and a budget. And then once they have certified you, then you're eligible for some initial operating grant money from the State Arts Commission and eligible to apply, or I shouldn't say just eligible. You have a little bit of a leg up on applying for state funded grants. The grant opportunity windows are a little bit broader because you've really clearly defined your district, your mission and your vision and your strategy for moving forward. So that's how that happened. It took a lot of work.
So,
yeah, well, good for you for doing all that.
Yeah, are you finding that that's bringing a lot of visitors in, having that signage and that dedication?
Yes, I think, well, I don't know if the signage, I think it makes people curious. And we do struggle with communicating to the local businesses and citizens exactly what being a creative district means. So they struggle with are you here to put up fine art, or is it a program? And it's really a program or a tool to try to drive more creative economy in your area. Another thing we're doing you'll start to see evidence of very soon, I hope, say October, is we're implementing a wayfinding sign project, and we were able to get a reimbursement grant from the state of Washington of nearly $40,000 to support that. And I think that might start drawing more attention, maybe people to the district, which is the main corridor of the downtown Soap Lake area, and hopefully get people to spend a little more time, spend a little more money.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Thanks.
If you would like to recommend somebody for appointment to the board, then you would just need a motion by them, and it'll go by the committee to recommend the appointment, and it'll go to consent next week for the board's final review and action.
Ruth Ann, it sounds like you'd make a great committee member. I do have questions, but since you're not here all the time, we do have a number of meetings in the fall where we evaluate presentations and then get together and rank those. And there's usually a couple meetings that are required in October.
Well, it's usually that one we do. We do one.
Yeah, I
where
guess we
everybody
pared it
presents.
down to one
We
long,
pared it
huge
down to
day
one
now,
long-
but
It's a full day, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was early October
Yeah,
with
it
that
was.
last year, and that,
full day.
and so it's a full day, but as long as you would probably need to be here for that.
Yes. Yeah.
We usually have a full board here to evaluate.
Yes.
she's still on.
She is still on.
Sorry. Is that the same meeting where applicants stand up and present their
Yes.
application? Okay. I did attend last year virtually, but I'm great at scheduling. So if I know far enough in advance, I'll make sure it's on the calendar and that I'm there. I would rather be there in person than do it virtually because
It's not the same.
It's not the same, right?
No, it's not.
So, yeah, I would, as long as you're willing to commit to being there in person, then I would make a motion that we accept her application to fill Kevin Danby's spot in District 1.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? My only discussion would be, Caitlin, is it a grant recipient?
Yes.
Okay, that's it for me.
I found her on here.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Deb, I said aye as well. All right, well then, there you go. So put that on consent next week.
You have her email and everything that,
Yep.
okay.
Well, she was realistic in her thing. She asked.
All right, so applicant presentation schedule.
And the 2026 grant application period, 2027 application
Oh, yeah.
period.
How long we want it open when we want it to open?
Yes.
I like it open longer. I do, but it'd be cool to open it whenever it's ready. And then maybe close it like end of September.
It helps
Do you
get
want
those things done.
true end of September, September 30th? Have it done? Somebody
Yeah.
says clean date.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with it if they are good with it.
Yeah, because then it gives you a little bit longer. Sometimes you need longer.
And is it possible to set our meeting today? Because October is like crazy.
Well,
for me,
I got a
so-
proposal to kind of set things for next year anyway,
But it's
instead of bouncing around. If we could get like some dates set for certain
set,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, because I get really busy down there, so yeah, it's hard for me too. So when's it gonna open?
I could estimate within 2 weeks, I could
Okay.
open it.
So-
I need time to double check the forms to make sure they're
Okay.
good to go, up to date for the correct calendar year, and then, you would want to allow some time to publicize and notice, like,
Sure.
let people know the date that it is opening. So like if you wanna get it to the papers and stuff, there's a 3 business day.
1 September, make it the month
Yeah,
of
what about
September.
having it open like for 5 weeks, the whole month of September into the first week of
Open
October?
the 1st of
And
September
then
and
we
ends
meet the end of
30th.
October.
Normally we did our meetings earlier in October when I first started, and we've kind of kept pushing them back.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
my October's busy too.
Before you came on though, we were doing them in December.
Really? Well, I
Yes,
did presentations for 8 years before I came on.
yeah,
but-
so.
Oh, so you were here.
Yeah, I was here. I don't remember. I thought it was always late October.
No, it was pretty late, but
Let's
we've
do-
kind of,
let's-
and then we moved them way earlier.
do
Well,
but-
we
November
have to
then.
get it done by budget time though, which is in
Which is,
November.
which is
Let's
budget.
just do it like the first week of November.
So,
Maybe just, because like what Goldie's saying is like open LTAC on August, like the third Monday every year, close it on the 31st every year. Is because you're looking at setting dates, right?
That's what I'm
And
saying.
then
If you
having
had
like
something
the
set,
first
then it would be
Tuesday
easier.
or first Wednesday or Thursday in November every year is presentation day. Like kind of set up.
Yeah.
Ideas so we always know.
you are, so, okay, sorry, I'm gonna do this one question at a time.
No, go ahead.
For the application period, are you wanting that to be, whether or not that's just this year or every other year? Are you wanting it to be third Wednesday of August through the end of September? Or are you because realistically, I could get it open by August 17th, realistically.
But if we're going to look at doing a November presentation,
Right.
we could do even start it September 1st, close it like the first or second Friday in October.
The concern that I have with November presentations is that typically, and obviously this is subject to change, typically you have your commissioner county budget meetings the first 2 weeks of November.
Right, so we need, yeah, I think.
Yeah, we need to be
do
in
that.
October.
I think we need to be in October. We found that that didn't work for us to try to fit that into November
Yeah.
for the county commissioners in the past.
So could we do late October?
Yeah, so we could do it, yeah, late October.
If you open it the whole month of September
The first to the 30th.
into, or even 5 weeks,
Mhm.
and then have the presentations in later October, then they're done before your November meetings.
Well, and Caitlin needs some time in between when it's closed to
Mhm.
Get everything ready.
get all the,
Yeah.
everything ready
She
for
needs
us
a
to
couple
review.
weeks.
So open it on the 1st and end it on the 30th.
Well, I like the idea if she said she could have it ready by the 17th of
Okay.
August, let's give people a little
Okay.
more time.
Yes.
And then
Let's-
close at the end of September. And then how much time do you need, Caitlin, to get everything ready? I mean, can we
Couple weeks. I
Can we
would
meet
say.
around the week of the 19th of October?
I'm gone.
You're gone that week. When are you here, Harriet?
The 22nd, 23rd,
Oh, okay.
the 26th, 27th, 28th. I'm gone to a conference the 19th through the 22nd, to the 21st, sorry.
I'm available any day that last week of October, except for I have a mosquito meeting on the 27th, so.
Could we go Monday, the 26th of October? Always do it the last Monday of October every
There
year?
you go.
You will not have a full day if you have it on that Monday.
What about the 28th, the Wednesday?
Why is that?
Because commissioners have meetings in here Mondays and
Okay,
Tuesdays.
Okay.
What
Gotcha.
about
So
the
stay away from Monday.
28th?
What about the 28th?
Yes, it looks like it is open that day.
So what about the last Wednesday in October, the 28th?
So can we set that now? Is that,
I'm good at setting it now, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
and we just keep that way.
all day LTAC, right?
Yes.
That's really helpful to know this much in advance
Well,
for me.
because like I said, we had to, you had to juggle this meeting as it was. And so if we kind of knew some things ahead of time, then you can plan ahead for what you need to do.
So to confirm,
Yeah.
I can, the application or applicant presentation day, last Wednesday of October.
Mhm.
The application period, are you guys wanting it to be like third Wednesday of August
Sure.
through the end of September every single year?
Yep, sure. Let's do it.
Good, okay. And then, I believe last year, if I remember this correctly, I could be wrong, maybe there was just discussion about it. Wasn't there a meeting prior to the applicant presentation day where you guys just reviewed the applications and talked about any questions that you might have for the presentation?
We did.
Okay,
'Cause
are you wanting to do that every year, or?
we made some changes this last year.
And I think we need to make some other changes because when the same people come in over and over and tell you the same stuff over and over, if they've been a previous recipient, I think there should be a list of, and we ask them some questions, because they're just repeating the same thing, pretty much. So if they've been a previous one before, I think there should just be a set of questions we can ask.
Well, and we need, it's always so hard to give them their time limits, but we
It
need
is,
to
that's the
probably do
hard
a
one.
little better job of giving people their time limits.
Yes, yes.
Um,
But sometimes most of them are just kind of repeating the same thing.
Right.
You know, maybe,
And
okay,
they're
well,
nervous, so.
maybe what you could say to them is, okay, 2026, this was the attendance we had, going forward, we want to do this kind of thing. But instead of continuing to say the same wheel again, the same story again.
Yeah, what would you ask them?
You know, how's your attendance differ from last year to this year? What economic growth did you see? You know, just some very things.
Don't we kind of ask that in the application though?
We kind of do, but what I'm saying, when they do their presentation, is what I'm saying is sometime, let's just say, I've done it 2 years in a row. Plan on doing it this year. I'm gonna come in and tell you the same thing. It's kind of one of those things where they've been a previous recipient. Maybe we could say, okay, we have some questions to ask you, or if you give us a brief overview instead of telling us
You don't have
about
to
the
tell us
events.
the whole event again.
That's
I
what
see
I'm
what you're
saying, the
saying.
whole thing again.
Yeah, okay.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I mean, it might be helpful to have 3 or 4 guidelines that we give them for their presentation. That would be, this is what we want you to focus on for the presentation, which
Yes.
is different than what's in your application.
Yeah. If you've been a previous recipient, this is what we'd like you to focus on.
You don't need to go over your whole application.
Yeah.
We want you to bring out these 3 points maybe.
Because sometimes I don't, but in my head, I can probably kind of recreate what they're gonna say sometimes,
Oh, sure.
because, you know, we have some we've heard many, many times, so.
So,
So-
ask the question again.
So you're asking, what if we met the Wednesday before? The 21st, well, you're gone.
Rob has a tentative calendar, or a tentative conference on his calendar.
Okay,
Can meet though.
Housing Washington.
but she's gonna be gone.
They can meet up. I could be remote.
Can't, I'll be traveling. But you can meet
Well-
without me.
Yeah, I'm in favor of having a pre-meeting, but
Okay.
can we, I don't know how difficult this would be, Caitlin, but can we give people guidelines of when to be here? Did we try that last year?
Last year, we tried a rolling meeting style because
I didn't love that.
you gave people guidelines the year previous,
Yeah.
and then people
So-
would like cut short, but then you didn't want to start the next one. It was something like that, and so we had done it this way because somebody had said that was how you'd done it like years and years ago, or something like that. So it was a totally new thing that we were
It
trying.
was.
That was another, the applicant presentation schedule, that was another bullet that I was gonna ask you guys
Oh,
about
okay,
anyways,
yes.
because I wasn't here for that day.
Oh, that's right. I
Because
Yeah.
I was out sick or somebody was sick, anyways. But there were a lot of notes that it was not well liked, how it
Oh,
was ran.
okay.
Well, it's tough because it's like if you got here at 8 a.m.,
And you didn't get,
but your number one or whatever is the person that got here last or in the middle.
yeah,
Well, 8 a.m. has to sit here until 4 p.m. But it's like you are asking for money. So
Yes.
part of me, but it would be cool to bunch them, do like chambers, events.
Which is what we did last year. We had, starting at, like, from this time to this time was events, and then in the afternoon, and we'd put the order that people would be presenting in, so they were presenting in the order that their application was received.
okay.
And we grouped the, like, you know, like maskers who had multiple applications, they were all together.
Sure.
Sure.
And so, and it was, you guys, we had set time limits where it was like, if you had one application, you had whatever,
Five
was
minutes.
five, yeah, and if you had more than one, you
And
had 10 to 15, right? And so then we had asked the applicants basically do the math themselves and figure out when they should show up.
Right.
Yes.
And what didn't they like about that then?
Well, they didn't like that there was a time for them to show up.
Yes.
And then from what I understand too, that people went long.
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll need to be tougher with them on their time limits this year, I think. Because we had so many, and then that does skew the people, okay, if everybody gets 10 minutes and they show up and they're still waiting for 2 hours because we let everybody ahead of them go over.
Well, so, and then to use the example of maskers, for instance, say they have 4 applications. They basically say the same thing about every application, so they really don't need 5 minutes per application.
And it wasn't, last year, the intent was not to give them 5 minutes per application.
Yeah.
It was specifically for that reason. You have 3 applications.
Right.
And it's gonna be the same information, which is why I was like 5 minutes for one application or 10 minutes for anything over that or something like that. It was,
Sure.
It was meant to be a consolidated thing, which I feel like was not. Well,
What if we have like a 90-minute slot and then have, trying to do my math here, but like, whatever we can fit in those 5-minute chunks for 90 minutes and have a little break. I know last time Kevin was eating food and we're all trying to put food down our mouth while we were going in the lunch session and going through. So I think a 90-minute block with a 15-minute break and has a buffer of 5 minutes. So a 20-minute break essentially, and then you can start again and do another 90 chunk. Might feel like, either you're going to, appointment 1 or appointment 2 or 3 or 4, and we have these slots. And so really you're coming for your 90 minutes, and it feels like a easier wait than having longer, and might be easier on my old back as well.
I mean, it's similar to what you did, Kaylin,
Yes.
but maybe we should try that we've got different sessions. You're in session 1, and session 1 is gonna go from here to here.
But be aware that things happen.
Yes.
Yes, we can't promise it.
No.
What do you think, Kaylin?
I'll do however the committee.
What do you recommend? You've been working with this. What do you think we should do?
It's hard to say without seeing the amount of applications that come in.
Right.
If there's a ton of applications, 2 days is the way I would want to do it.
And my concern is even with a 15-minute buffer between 90-minute sessions, you're still gonna have to have a lunch break somewhere in there.
Yes.
And while I am more than comfortable setting a timer, we have a big flashing one for people to talk, it's ultimately at the discretion of the committee who stops talking when.
And I have no problem telling you to stop talking if you're okay with that.
Please do.
Yes.
But it is hard because I will keep track, and then I'm over time and there's 2 more questions. So I just let them go because you are here volunteering, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can be as strict as you want. You just say, yeah, I'm good with you cutting me off in the middle of a sentence or not letting me finish, and we just go forward. But it is hard to say like, okay, that was great, Marilyn. We're not gonna be able to finish that question. We have to.
Here's your hat. What's your hurry?
Yeah.
The goalpost on the way out, yes.
Yeah.
But if that's how we want to go, that's fine also.
Then the concern is that if you go along and there's people who are supposed to be in time group A
Yes.
that don't talk,
Or if time group A people don't show up.
right,
Yes.
then you're waiting until time group B starts,
Yes.
or you're twiddling your thumbs for 15 minutes, waiting until time group B starts because everything went on time.
Yeah.
Technically, could we do it? Yes. If the committee wants to go that route, that is something that can be done and it can be managed. It's just a matter of
till we see how many we got. That's the other thing. Yeah.
So maybe try to break the morning into 2 sessions and then a lunch break and break the afternoon into 2 sessions and.
Well, usually then the afternoon, we're ranking also.
Yeah, we need that time, so maybe try to, so if you
Because
had
we went till,
3 sessions.
we went till 6 o'clock, I think, last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yes.
It might help people to know that we at least tried to tweak how we're doing it,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
to appease the masses, so to speak.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how it needs to be addressed. It's a work in progress.
But we are gonna
we're
hold
gonna
presentations to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We're gonna be more strict about it this year.
That we will have had a chance to read all the applications ahead of time, so we'll be familiar. And so we just kind of want to meet you and be able to ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't even really need to do a presentation. Maybe it should just be a Q&A.
That's what I'm saying. If you've gotten previous ones before.
Just
you
Q&A
really
it.
want to have somebody
Yeah.
go through every steps they do for that event. Just do a Q&A.
Right.
5 minutes, you're done. Hey, what changed, what, whenever.
Yeah, so maybe there you go, Caitlin. If they're repeaters, just say no presentation. We'll just do Q&A.
Q&A. But they should obviously bring numbers and, you know, in case we have questions about, well, how was the attendance versus this year to last year, that kind of thing. But just have a question and answer. Because we already know what they're doing.
Unless they changed it up.
Yes.
And then application review meeting,
We want to do.
Yeah,
the
let's go.
21st. Rob said, you said you could probably be remote.
Oh, that's the 21st. Okay.
The pre-meeting is what she's talking about.
Oh, I'll be here.
Oh, so that'd be the 20. Oh, so we would meet
Oh, yeah.
the 21st and then do the
Presentations would be on the 28th.
28th. So, okay.
So we could get the applications on the 21st and you would have time to look at it.
Do we have a time for that?
No, we haven't even solidly picked the
Yeah.
21st, so.
We're still working on that.
Just so you know, I can't make that one, but I definitely would review all the applications ahead of time.
Yeah.
So 21st.
I'll just put it in my
What
phone,
time?
so it's, yeah, and we can figure a time later, maybe.
We're here, we might as well figure a time now.
Yeah, if they can.
Yeah, if we can figure a time, that would help.
It looks like, I mean, Rob's remote that day. It doesn't look like there's anything in the hearing room in the
Okay.
morning, so you could do like a 10 or an 11 a.m. or something like that.
Well, I already have it in my phone for 10.
Let's do 10.
Okay.
Madam Vice Chair just scheduled the meeting. That's
Yes.
great.
Well, get it done.
If that would give us enough time. You think that, yeah, that should give us enough
Will
time.
you send out the applications digitally? So that,
That's what we're gonna try to do.
okay, so that I can review them then. Otherwise I won't be able to pick them up.
You do a really good job, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you. Trying to herd us kittens. But yeah.
Yes.
Have it on the calendar. I will, and when it gets closer, I'll have a better idea when it comes to dispersing the documents digitally. I am working with tech services to try to have all of the applications be digital that you can review. We have iPads that you guys would borrow for the day of the
Okay.
presentations, so you can
Oh,
just scroll through it
that's
on the
nice.
iPad instead of having the
Huge
binder
book.
chunk.
Yeah,
Yes.
save a couple trees. But whether or not that will actually be
Okay.
up and going this year is still in the air. It just kind of depends on how much time we'll have with the guy I'm working with in TS, how much time we have for the completion of that project. So.
Perfect. Yeah.
Cindy, you had wanted to be at this meeting. Do you have any?
I'm really sorry. I texted Caitlin. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be here, so I am really sorry I was not. Anyways, sorry I'm super late. I was just kind of looking at the other, I know, I'm just a proponent, for District 3. District 3 probably brings in the most money, and it feels like it leaves District 3 to go into the municipalities. And I know Goldie, you guys bring in a lot of revenue. Just, I like to support the events that are promoting. And I know the Gorge brings in a lot of money. Thank you for funding part of that road so that we could get people off the road, get the farmers on. We have a lot of issues. We're working on kind of doing a secondary route north of for the campground. So they're kind of off that, gives it one more travel lane, so they're off. But just kind of promoting tourism, like your chambers, you know, if they're the websites, those that are really promoting tourism and bringing people in.
Yeah, before you got here, we have this discussion every year. How do we make sure that the lodging tax produces the RCW, which is quote, heads in beds, but also in a rural county like we are, that we're also supporting the smaller communities and events. And so it's always a balancing act, but we feel it's really important to make sure that we are funding those things as well.
Yeah, no, there's some fun things that happen in our county, so.
Yeah.
And I don't think they would be able to have it without
No, they wouldn't.
LTAC.
Yeah, exactly.
It contributes to the whole pool of tourism. And
they're
you
doing
can make a
it every day of
justification
the
for that.
year was, these events are just doing it 2 or 3 days, so we've always tried to blur the county and the city lines, and so we've always supported the chambers as much as we can, because they do events too, so.
You guys have been on this, well, tourism and then LTAC for many, many years,
Well,
so thank you.
Yeah,
We're
we did
ancients,
both
right?
when we didn't know it was illegal, let's put it that way.
Well, I think it was a cleanup across the entire state.
Yeah.
We didn't
It's
know.
like,
I think
whoa,
the
wait a
state
minute.
auditor is like, you can't do this. So I think it wasn't just Grant County.
No,
it was
no,
everybody
it was straight
kind of
across,
knew.
yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, didn't know that's how we.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for your many years of service.
You're welcome, thank you.
Nothing else? No new business? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
So I do have a question, since all three commissioners are here, that does not have to do with LTAC. It's an issue that I brought up before, so do I need to wait till we adjourn this meeting and then ask it? Okay, all right, I second.
All right, motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, or adjourn. Go
Okay.
ahead, Harriet.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know, maybe when Caitlin first came on, so when did you start? A year ago? More
2
than
years.
2 years. Anyway, some years ago, well, in 2005, the Washington State Legislature passed House Bill 1386, which increased the local document recording fee in every county to directly fund historic preservation and heritage programs. And so a number of years ago, I came and talked to our Grant County treasurer about it. He assured me that there really wasn't much money in it. And I also talked to the auditor's office, I guess. He sent me there. I didn't get anywhere there. The State Museum Association is really asking museums to find out about this, because they have looked and found out that there really is a significant amount of money sitting in these funds. And so what I was told when I came here some years ago by the treasurer was, number one, there wasn't much money in it, and number two, it was going to go to fund the archives of the courthouse here. But the tone of the bill, which I understand wanting to do something with the archives here is important. The tone of the bill is also to make that kind of a county-wide thing that people could apply to, heritage organizations could apply to. So anywhere from the Friends of Grand Coulee to
What's the House bill?
1386. And Clark
His
County
account,
is,
143, historical preservation, we have $119,000. $119,665 is the last.
yeah,
update.
and Clark County was the one who really started this. And so they have a really nice granting program where heritage organizations can apply out of that money, and then it's distributed for historic preservation and heritage programs in their county. So the idea was that all counties would follow suit, and it's been 20 years now. I'd really like to see our county actually follow the law with this.
Okay, because
Money that's
we
sitting on there
haven't.
now is an accumulation of many years?
Well,
or is
no,
that-
we actually use the historical preservation when we took our, Damien Hooper used it when we did our building permits, we had to put them in. The health district would able to use this funding when they're, putting, I don't think they've applied, they've talked about it. When they're putting all their like septic systems online, kind of the historical data so that it's available to the public. We've used it for Laserfish for getting all our documents online. So it has been used, but I know Daryl's been very stingy about letting it leave outside of the walls of Grant County. Basically, he's saved it for the preservation of the historical funds.
And it's really
Here.
supposed to benefit all of the organizations in the county.
Okay.
That was the way the law was written.
Is it, have you read that somewhere?
Did you say it was House Bill 1386?
1386.
1386 is no.
House Bill 1386 comes up as an excise tax on firearms and firearm parts. Has to do
It
with
would be
gun
the
violence.
1386, probably in 2006. I don't know what year it would be.
It's called House Bill 1386 Preservation Fund. It increased the local document recording fee from $2 to $5.
2005.
I mean, if you look at the Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation, they have a whole write-up on it. House Bill 1386 money offers a means for museums and heritage organizations to obtain funding for programming and promotion. The amount of the fund varies by county and depends on the number of documents that are recorded during each year. Many counties have created mechanisms by which these funds are distributed.
It's only 119,000 right now.
Well, I'm looking at, this was October 2025.
Because we don't use it much at all. It'd be interesting to know what it.
We actually do put it in budgets.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I don't. Like the
When-
Damien one, he didn't use that.
You
He
know,
was
but
supposed to,
Barb
but he
used it.
didn't.
That's what
Yeah,
Barb
Barb
used
used it for
it.
Laserfish.
Somebody else used it this last year. I can't remember who used it. It pays for
I really want to say
Laserfish.
development services might have, which is probably what you're talking about, but, I feel like, and I'm trying to find the minutes from it, but I found the email thread from when Harriet first brought this up back in 2025. And it seems like Daryl brought up the auditor's O&M fund, which I think is also is receives revenue from this.
It's a different funding.
Bill?
It's a different silo.
Okay, I think Daryl was maybe, at least in this email thread, I think Daryl was under the impression that this specific revenue that Harriet's talking about was in the auditor's O&M fund. I'm trying to find the minutes from that meeting.
No, and Harriet has asked previously, she started asking probably it could have even been 2007 or 2008.
It was way back, because
Yeah,
Freya
and then every
and
few
I
years it
from the
comes up
Moses
every
Lake
4 or 5
Museum
years.
both asked about it.
And some of them, like Pierce County, they use it for the preservation through Image System Fund and like Laserfish. I thought we paid for some of the things through Laserfish. I know we do use it.
And I can understand the county in-house needing to use part of it for your own archival, but seems like maybe 50% of it should be shared with the rest of the county for heritage organizations. I mean, even the Lower Grand Coulee, Friends of the Lower Grand Coulee and their signage thing, that's the kind of thing that could be funded out of
there
it.
instead of through the chosen
Instead of
towns and
through
that.
LTAC.
Yeah, and Pierce County also uses it for the history research,
So
public programs that promote public awareness of history and other cultural heritage of the community.
the $2 fee that moved to $5, what was that, was that fee called?
Historical preservation.
Heritage preservation.
And who
Fund.
pays, I mean, who pays that?
Everybody that records.
Yeah.
Anyone that records, so does
you
the
have to-
city have a recording fee, like the city of Quincy? Do they collect that?
No, it's only the county.
It's
When you
only the
put it
county.
through the
Okay.
auditor's office, I think it's like $308 now for your first paper, and then it's 15 or 17 or $7. They've really.
So every single time something gets recorded.
Yeah, it looks like
Like
they
a
raised it
deed.
from $2 to $5.
Okay.
The fee is
Yeah.
collected by each county auditor who by law
Right.
must record.
But, you know, we are in, getting close to another budget cycle, so we definitely can look into that. Daryl is gone.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
He has been really, he's
I
got
only
his
bring
grip
this
on
up
that,
because
those
I think
funds.
this is another way to help fund things, and I'd like our county to be able to be following the intent of the law. So,
But yeah, cash on hand, that was my last report here that I know how to read. We have had some other reports, but it was 119,000.
Can you see what the annual revenue is on that too? On that fund?
and I know that doesn't seem like a lot of money, but to small heritage organizations, even $5,000
Well, yeah, even five.
is
5,000,
a
10
big
is gonna
help.
help. That's
It
gonna help with
does.
what they need to do. Sure, of course.
Well, new faces, sometimes new faces, I mean, new changes.
Well, if that's the intent, then that's where it should go, yeah. Yeah.
Well, document preservation, historical programming, heritage grants. I mean, it could go to our museum too, which we fund completely out of.
Current
Out in
expense.
general,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's why I wonder if the revenue is not very strong.
There's not a lot, but some of it's used for digitizing, indexing.
Anything else for this meeting?
Has this application, so this hasn't gone out yet because you haven't figured out what the salary is? Okay.
No, they're still working on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Next meeting?
When would we might know that?
It is actually 1:26 and we're.
I'll see you, Harriet. See you, Marilyn.
Back next
See you guys.